Hey, happy Cab Sauv Day.
Happy Cabernet Day. Oh my Lord, what a day.
Yes,
We're
yes, yes.
ready. We're ready to rock
Take,
across the country.
take your
Woohoo!
jackets off and stay a while.
Absolutely. Canadian wine lovers, Carl's Wine Club member, all of you, coast to coast, welcome for a pretty cool show. Something that we have planned for now 4 days.
At least six.
6 days. Yeah. You got it. Cabernet Sauvignon Day. I'm not sure if I have to call it International Cabernet Sauvignon Day, National Sauvignon Day, whatever it is. WSET and Winefully are behind that. So you know what? I don't want to create any controversy this time, but you know what? There's something to celebrate. So Carl's Wine Club members is right behind the train, right there, driving the train, I would say. And we are going to talk Cabernet Sauvignon. We are going to talk Canadian Cabernet Sauvignon and International Cabernet Sauvignon for four, or maybe 5 hours. So get yourself a glass of cab. Get yourself comfortable, some piece of meat, some bread, some cheese. Sit back and let's have fun. It's going to be an epic evening. This is our third edition of a marathon, a wine tasting, Canadian wine tasting marathon after International Chardonnay Day, after International Rosé Day. Now it's Cabernet Sauvignon. And one thing that I want to do tonight, I want to demystify the stigma that Canada, any terroir in Canada are capable of growing and producing good Cabernet Sauvignon. I have 15 of them behind me. 15 Cab Sauv from Niagara, from BC, and I have some international as well. So we're going to go side by side. We're going to do some cool stuff. We have three winemaker guests with us. We have Jeff Undermark. Jeff is already in the green room. We're going to have to get him in soon because this poor guy, he's a winemaker and wine director at the director of winemaking at Mount Boucherie in Ross here in the Okanagan. Mount Boucherie is located on West Kelowna, on the West Kelowna Wine Trail. Ross is located on the Golden Mile down in Oliver. But guess what? They already have started to crush. Yep. Early pick Chardonnays are out to press for sparkling. I'm expecting some good Blanc de Blanc out of that. So, Jeff is on. Special request is a girl. I have to come in early because we're busy. The grapes are already starting to come on the crush pad. So, this is cool because Jeff brings understanding of both major wine region in the country. Jeff used to be a winemaker out east in Ontario, moved 4 years ago here out west. So with Jeff, we can talk Ontario versus BC. So it's going to be interesting to get his perspective. And also, well, what I got in my hand here, it's one of the products that Jeff is pretty excited to put on the market. It's not out yet, but it's there's so many, like I have to reach out like almost half a mile to go get a bottle. So this is the Original Vine 2019 Mount Boucherie Cab Sauv. So we're going to chat that. But I also have a couple bottles of Marie-Naissance Cabernet that I know for a fact it's not vintages it's not a vintage that Jeff made, but Jeff used to be winemaker at Marie-Naissance. So I have some wine that I might sneak a peek with him, even if he didn't make it, but he knows very well the winemaking program there. So Mira Boucher, how are you doing?
Great, Carl Boucher. We did the traditional Romanian glass breaking before a big celebration.
Yes.
Whether we wanted to or not, there it is. While we were fiddling with the microphones and things, that was a casualty. So
well, you know what?
this is going to be really good luck. Opa, let's get it going.
Typical Bouchers, right? Running around like that couple just before getting in the air. We're breaking. I think, and just so you know, this one was the last gold.
Thank goodness.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay? So this is the last Gabriel gold. Gone, over. So now there's no more.
They're actually sold out all over the world. We could piece that one back together and have it as a collector item.
Yeah, your wine of your glass of Mount Boucherie is right here waiting for you.
I can't wait. Awesome. So I'll get out of here and I'll bring on Jeff 100mark.
Yeah, and while you bring Jeff in, I would like to say hi to everyone on Instagram here. So I have two devices in front of me. I have Instagram right here and Facebook. Via Facebook, we're also live on our new YouTube channel. So if you guys are listening to us tonight and you feel like heading out to YouTube, subscribe to our channel, because in the next 6 to 8 months, you will see Carl's Wine Club increasing their presence on YouTube. I heard through the grapevine, the grapevine, you get it? Okay, I heard through the grapevine that YouTube, it's the way of the future. My nephew is 21 years old and he makes like 10 grand a month making videos on YouTube. I said, you know what? I'm not really good looking, but I know some stuff about wine. Maybe I can make 10,000 a month on YouTube. So why not trying it? No. So we're trying to build a big presence on YouTube. We want to take you on a journey. And so follow us on YouTube. And we're on for a great evening, 4 to 5 hours of live tasting for Cabernet Sauvignon Day. I have a very special guest with me right now, Jeff Undermark, Director of Winemaking at Mount Boucherie and Ross Winery here in British Columbia. Jeff, good evening.
How's it going?
Oh, man, it's going like craziness.
How's my sound? I got a little bit of echo in this room here, but...
You look pretty, you sound pretty good. You sound as good as you look, Jeff, so absolutely.
My tech support's left for the day, so I'm flying solo here.
There you go.
Yeah.
But you know what? I have 3 kids on the other room, and I know in the next 4 hours something's gonna happen. I don't know when, but when it happens, it's gonna be pretty fun.
Yeah.
So you're a pretty busy man in the last couple of days.
Oh, it's always busy around here, but yeah, no, we're getting set up for big time crush coming up. But we've already taken in Chardonnay from our down in our Similkameen Valley winery, vineyard. We've taken in Chardonnay for bubbles, so we've been working on that the last couple of days, and the crew was down in the vineyards pretty much the entire day doing bricks testing and all that kind of thing, just getting everything ready while I was back here at the winery doing some inoculations and that sort of thing. So lots of stuff going on for sure.
You know what? We appreciate your time. We know you're busy. I have to tell you before we start that your team at the restaurant this week has done a great job. We stopped by with some members from Quebec. They had the tasting, and we went for dinner. And Modest Butcher teams absolutely nailed it out of the park.
Good. I heard that you got kicked out. That didn't happen. You're causing some ruckus and got kicked out. No, that wasn't you. Oh.
Hey, I wouldn't be surprised if some francophone create havoc like that. Maybe because of my kids were running around.
Yeah.
You know? And
it's like home away from home for them.
Exactly. They feel like it's their backyard, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Pretty much is. Yeah.
Cabernet Sauvignon Day today, and a couple of weeks ago when Mira said, "Carl, we need to put something together," and I thought it was a brilliant idea because too many times, too often, and you know as much as I know, people, there's that stigma hanging over our head in the wine business as Canada are not good, or it's not warm enough. It's too cold here to grow good Cabernet. So by it means we can't produce good Cabernet in Canada.
Yeah,
So
I've been hearing that for years, Carl. It is, you know, I think you mentioned it earlier in when introduction that, you know, I started my career at Mary Nissen Winery in Niagara, and John Mary Nissen had the incredible, you know, vision and foresight of planting Cabernet Sauvignon back in 1978. That was the first commercial planting of Cabernet Sauvignon in Canada, and you know, he was making wines for so many years, so many fantastic wines, and you know, I can honestly say that when I was not really all about wine, I didn't really understand wine. I was flipped the keys to the wine cellar at the Chateau Laurier Hotel in Ottawa, and they said to me, you know, with this position of assistant manager, you've got to run the cellar. So here I was taking care of this cellar, and I'm thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do? Like, I don't know anything about wine at all. There's no Carl's Wine Club to teach me about wine. So, so I, you know, I did a lot of tasting of wines and ended up taking the sommelier program in Ottawa. And, but I'll tell you, one of the very first wines that I tried in that cellar was a 1991 Cabernet Sauvignon from Mary Nissen Estate Winery. And it was just, to me, it was spectacular. It just blew my socks off. And I thought, you know what, if Canada can make wine like this, you know, I think, because I was so used to tasting, you know, nothing against Maréchal Foch and Bac Noir and all the hybrids, but if Canada can make vinifera wines like this, like, you know, we are going to make a mark on the map. And anyway, so that one wine was the one that turned me into a Canadian wine lover, turned me into a real appreciative of Cabernet Sauvignon. And you know what, I wanted to bring it today just to prove it to you, because I always talk about it when I'm talking to people about, you know, what got my inspirations. But I actually have one bottle left of the 1991. I don't know if you can see that in there.
Oh my God, we can. Oh,
there we go.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is the last bottle from my cellar. Look at the ullage on that, like it's massive. This probably is not drinking very well, but I don't care. I'm never going to open this bottle. It's going to always stay in my possessions, because it's always there to remind me about just that Canada can do great big reds. If it wasn't for the vision of people like Carl Kaiser and Inniskillen and John Mary Nissen, and, you know, out here, the McWaters family, and, you know, there's so many pioneers in this industry, you know, to have the sort of the vision to plant these kinds of wines. I'm so excited to try, or to see all the wines and the wineries you're going to feature in this little celebration here. And it's really been a real, for me, a real trip to travel down this Cabernet Sauvignon lane with, you know, with all these wines that we've been trying lately. And you know, it gives me inspiration every year. You start out this inspiration of, oh, you know, I want to make that frickin' best Cabernet Sauvignon. And, you know, I think we really have it. I think in our winery, you know, the vineyards that we have, the Cabernet Sauvignon that's grown down in the Similkameen is spectacular. And I really, every year, it's one of my favorite wines to taste right out from the get-go, from fermentation on. And yeah, so I'm really happy that we're trying this 2019 today, which hasn't been released yet. It's still in, I mean, we bottled it and it's still in bottle, in cellar waiting. And we'll probably release this, I would think, at some point later in the fall, maybe early winter. I like to get a little bit of bottle age on the wine, just, you know, to help it really, really soften and smooth out. And but you know, you're tasting it. I sent you that, or got you that bottle, and it's drinking beautifully. I don't know. My impression is I really enjoy it. I think the team here has done a fantastic job. You know, we have some real passionate people here that they get right behind, you know, things like Cabernet Sauvignon, things like Syrah and Merlot, and you know, this is no different than any of the other ones. I think it's a really pretty freaking
Yeah,
good.
Jeff, you nailed it when you're mentioning about like these legends of the wine industry, these people who started way before my time, but the people who had the vision. Mr. Marinessa, who said in '78, I'm going to plant some Cabernet here. And you know what? People were all thinking he was a little cuckoo in the head. What a waste of money. What a waste of energy. What a waste of time to doing all that. It must be an egocentric, some kind of something. You know what? I call that vision. And like, that's good. We turn around now 30, 40 years later. And when you look at the curve, where is the weather, the climate change is taking us. There's no doubt anymore that we get enough heat unit to ripe our Cabernets. And now when I'm tasting this is a young little pop. This is so early on, but the potential of that, it's absolutely tremendous. I don't want to get too technical, but what was the bricks on this little guy at the end when you get that in the crush?
I hate technical questions. You know what? I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was somewhere around 25 bricks. It was. I remember we actually had to bring it off early because it was the bricks sugar levels were rising so quickly that year, and I remember we had to take it off a bit early, and I think it was like early November or something.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I'm pretty sure it was early November that we picked it, maybe late October, but I think it was early November, and it was like the sugars were so incredible. We normally would have left it probably another week or so. And no, it didn't. That did not happen. We picked it. 25 bricks was, I think it's 14% alcohol. 14 and
you had
14 and a bit. Yeah.
You had 14 and a bit here, and I would say my first impression of that, it's balance. Yeah, like for me, it tastes incredibly balanced. On the nose, it's so classic Cabernet. I got the graphite and the cassis just absolutely jumping out of the glass. And after the big wave of oak, because it just been bottled, this guy needs some time, but the potential of that is absolutely tremendous. Yeah. I think there's a little bit of Merlot tossed into that, probably less than 10%, right? Just a little splash to bring just a little bit of another element in it. But I think, it's wonderful. So I would like you, everything comes from the Similkameen Valley for this specific wine?
Yeah, this specific wine is planted in the Similkameen. We have 2 blocks of Cabernet Sauvignon in our South Costin block, or South Costin vineyard. So the plant, I want to say the plantings were like 1998 or somewhere around there. Not as old as the Marinessa vineyards by any means, but fairly decently old here. And
I think Block 24 was planted in 1994.
1990.
Yeah, and Block 25 was Block 25 was planted in 98. So
so the Merlot block was planted in 94, and the Cabernet Sauvignon was in 98. That's what it was. Yeah. And it's so just we always put a little bit of, in the Cabernet Sauvignon and the Franc, we put a little bit of Merlot in there just to soften it up and around. Bordeaux has been doing it for a few years. They kind of know what they're doing, I think.
Maybe.
And I'm not about to question them, so I really want to sort of take their ideas and use them, and blending those grape varieties together is intentional. It's for balancing the wine, like you mentioned it before. Having that little bit of Merlot in there actually really helps to make that wine approachable earlier in its life. The Cabernet Sauvignon by itself is extremely tannic. It's a really small berry, very thick skin, so lots of tannin in there, and it tends to age for a very long period of time. the Merlot that we put in there, just a tiny little bit, like I think it was like 8% or something like that, just a really, really small amount, but it was just enough to soften the tannins a little bit, provide a little bit of that kind of blueberry fruit and raspberry fruit, and it just kind of really softened and made it really approachable early in its life. You know, so the Cabernet Sauvignon, the tannin's going to carry it through, you know, through a decade maybe, and then that Merlot makes it drinkable young. So, you know, when you order it online or order it through Carl's Wine Club, you can, you know, you buy a couple of bottles of it and then, you know, taste some for dinner, you know, tonight, this weekend, whatever. And then at the same time, have a couple of bottles you throw in the cellar and still drinking beautifully down the road.
You know what, Jeff? So this here, what's special with the, because you have different, at Mount Boucherie, there's different classification of wine. You got your, the reserve line, but you have something that it's personally my favorite, especially your old vine, your original vine, Chardonnay. To me, it's the best Chardonnay in Western Canada. I don't think it's a secret for everybody. I must mention it every week when we go on. But this is their Cabernet Sauvignon original vines. So what's special? What makes it to the original vine line? What's the parameter to get there?
So the original vines was it was a line that was developed this past year back in 2019-20, and it was we wanted to highlight kind of the history of our wines. Like when we bought this, or I didn't buy the winery, when our owners bought the winery in 2016, they were really blessed with buying, like the previous owners planted grapes all over the Similkameen and Okanagan Valley. So we have about 300 acres in total across the two valleys. One of our biggest vineyards is down in that Similkameen Valley, South Costin area. And the grape varieties that were planted there, they're all over the place. You know, we are everything from Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, down to Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot. There was at one point some Zinfandel and some Syrah. But the whole idea of this original vine series is to really highlight the heritage of the wine company. And the vineyards were planted, all of them were planted pre 2000. So it was all at least 20 years. That was the sort of the youngest we could possibly use those vines. So everything is generally speaking between 20 and 30, 35 years old plantings, which is not really long, but you know, in Canada, it's a fairly old vine. We didn't want to necessarily use old vines because old vines really intimates that it's old. And you know, for us, it's our original plantings. These are the plantings that really were the backbone of the winery. Back in the early 2000s when the Gittas were making wines there, it was it was the backbone of the company. So we have a Cabernet Sauvignon from the Similkameen. We have a Cabernet Franc Merlot blend, which is from the Okanagan Falls vineyard. We have a Gewürztraminer from the Golden Mile. We have a Semillon from Okanagan Falls. And we made a PTG this year, or the last 2 years, actually. So Passe du Grain from Similkameen Valley. So we have a little block of Pinot Noir beside a block of Gamay Noir beside a block of Pinot Gris that we make a PTG from.
It's become a crowd favorite pretty quick, I would say.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a lot
to make more. Yeah.
I need more of that because Carl's Club member is about to take over the full load of the next vintage. And before I let you go, Jeff, I know you're a busy man. Thing here, how long in the cellar for that Cab Sauv? At least 10 years. Yeah,
this one, I mean, so it's a really tough question. I mean, we get asked that question all the time. And, the loaded answer is, it depends on how you cellar it and how you like to drink the wine. But I think as far as the wine's health is concerned, definitely 10 years. I would say probably you could stretch it out 12 to 15 years maybe. But, it depends on how you like to drink the wine. Myself, I would like to drink this wine in 6 to 8 years. that's the perfect time for me. It's got lots of fruit, still lots of tannins, and drinking deliciously. If you like it really aged and that kind of that aged character, then definitely 12 years, maybe 15 years if you're selling it really nice.
Yeah, and I'm a guy, I really like my wine in his youth. I like his wine. So for me, I would say 3 to 5 for me. 5 years, it's going to be my my soft spot for that.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
But let's say at $45, it's a great bang for your buck. I love that. And lastly, I have a sip right beside here of the Marinessence Platinum.
Oh, beautiful. What vintage is that?
19 vintage, so I have them side by side, my friend.
Oh wow!
In your honor,
I'm gonna have to hit you up and see if we can get a bottle of that. I'd love to try that. I miss those wines. You know what? The wines in BC are beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I mean, I moved here for a reason. I think we make some fantastic wines out here. But you know what, Niagara? I've got this. Oh my God! I've got this heart thing for it because of the acid and because of the herbaceousness and the fruit, and oh my God, the wines from Marinessence, and I think they do a fantastic job there, and I'm really proud to have been an alumni.
What time are you heading home tonight? Are you going to be home around like 8:30 or 9?
It's hard to say.
It's hard to say. Shoot me a text because after the show, you know, and for people who don't know, like we live like 5 minutes apart here. So I can definitely swing by and we can do the side by side.
All right, sounds great.
Thank Jeff. Thank you so much. And by the way, I'll be at Marinessence next Thursday. I'm flying out to Niagara on Wednesday. I'm spending 4 days out there touring.
Fantastic.
And the Carl's Wine Club is planning a Marinessence feature for October.
Right on. Good stuff.
Thanks for the time for being with us tonight. I greatly appreciate that.
Cheers, man.
And, shoot me a text when you're on your way home.
You got it, man. I will.
Take care.
Have fun.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you very much. So great. Always fun to have that good friend here live, Jeff Undermark from Mount Boucherie Rust Winery here in West Kelowna. A wealth of knowledge. Jeff is so generous. Mira, isn't it fun to hear him every single time that he jumps in?
Totally. So much fun and such great stories that come out of the woodwork too. It's awesome.
Yeah, I love it. So,
you know what I did?
You are our virtual. Oh, look at you! Because you are so good with all of the comments. Do you mind, while I'm planning the next step here, would you mind to review with our listener all of the nice, great comments that we've just done?
Yes. So there were some great comments. Daryl, I think Daryl's saying 91 was an epic year in Niagara, the type they don't see very often. So that's great because I don't know much about Niagara's vintage history. Yeah, you got that, Carl?
No.
So Carl's bringing me wine and I hand him a little snack tray. See, it works really well.
No, that's the teamwork here.
And Brent Webb actually had some Mount Boucherie Cab Sauv in his glass. I'm guessing not the original vines, hey, Carl? Because that's a brand new or...
What do you have here? What I just
gave you? So Brent just, he says, has the Mount Boucherie Cab Sauv in his glass.
Yeah,
tonight,
okay.
But not this one. Because you said this one, the one we tried.
The 19 is not on the market yet.
Okay,
It's not going to be released until November.
So maybe you've got the 18 or sooner. And so I just love that. Kelly's trying Red Horse's Vineyard 2018 Cab Sauv, which I've never heard of. Tell us what you think, Kelly. That's great.
So this is the other one that Jeff worked with. It's Marinessence Platinum.
Ooh.
You see how different they are. It's crazy.
So different. Holy cow. So the first one you gave me is what, Carl?
The first one in the Gabriel glass.
Go over there or I'll get feedback. Sorry.
Okay. The first one in your Gabriel glass, you have Mount Boucherie Original Vines 2019. The second one, you have Marinessence from this is the Heritage Collection from Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario.
Brilliant. Yeah, and then so what happened with this snack tray? This is all Kelly's fault, because she said she has some smoked Gouda she's pairing her Cab Sauv with. And I said, we have smoked Gouda. And then I found like prosciutto and servalat and like sharp cheddar. So I made a little snack tray. That's all thanks to Kelly. Otherwise, we probably would have forgotten to eat at this point. And what's also really cool, Carl, is Tracy Bullock is saying that next Thursday she's going to be at 30 Bench Winemakers, and she would love to host you for a tasting there. She's going to be working there that day. So I don't know what's in the plans. Carl's going there a bit blind, Tracy. We're letting Marcel Morgenstern be the tour guide on the Thursday and Friday. And then on Saturday, Carl's got a bit of time. He's hopefully meeting with some members that day.
We'll be on the bench. We'll be on the Beamsville bench on Friday, though. Friday, I know that Marcel is planning to book us on the bench. I think Thursday we are fully booked with 7 appointments on Niagara in Niagara-on-the-Lake. But on Friday we are going to be on the bench.
Great. Oh, and look, Kelly's already getting us some fabulous tasting notes. Red Horses out of Oliver. So peppery on the nose. Once it hits the mouth, it really lets go with the plum, berries, and oaky, earthy.
So Mira, about Red Horses, you remember, like in Oliver, it's not on the main wine path. Remember that horse, that big bronze horse by the house that near a Spanish style house I show you a few times.
Oh, okay. That's Red Horses.
Exactly. That lady hosted me last year. So yeah, they are a very, very small production. I think they're producing something like less than 1,000 cases. So
nice. And Tracy, thank you. Yeah, I mean, if you and Marcel know each other, that is such a small world, isn't it? So cool.
So now what I have in front of me, and I'm just going to show here my people on Instagram. This is boom. Here, my people. Here you go. This is just a start. So what I switched from Marinescence Platinum Series to Marinescence Heritage Series. Mira, you have the Heritage only. Heritage is more of a $30. The Platinum is at $45. Both are weighing at 13% of alcohol. You see very, very quickly how leaner, I mean, a little bit more acidity in the Ontario, on this specific Ontario producer than it is with Mount Boucherie. Would you agree with me, Mira?
Say that again, because I was writing a comment. What did you say?
So I was just saying how the Mount Boucherie feels rounder, feels bigger and heavier in alcohol than the Marinescence would. Marinescence stinge more as acidity, a little bit more cranberry than the Mount Boucherie. Mount Boucherie goes more on the cassis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're so different and both so good. But totally, I agree with you. Like this one is a lot more of a tanniny, grippy kind of the Mount Boucherie one, right?
Yeah, but Boucherie weighed like 2% more in alcohol right off the bat, right?
Yeah, and the colors are different. Like you can't see through the Mount Boucherie one unless you really hold it up to the light. The Marinescent is a little more of a light color, like I can see through it. So that's interesting.
Yeah, here, so and what I have on my other glass, so I'm going to use this rosé to wash up, like to clean up my mouth in between glasses. So this is a rosé of 100% Cabernet Sauvignon 2020 from Lakeside Cellar, right down in Osoyoos, almost at the border of the States. We're just doing our last call today for Lakeside. We had a very successful offer with Lakeside Cellar. So tonight, later on, I'm going to taste the 2017 Cabernet. And Noel was gracious enough to give me a bottle of Cab Sauv Rosé to wash off in between to make sure that I can clean up my mouth in between. So I love that. This is a 100% Cabernet Sauvignon. It's from the home vineyard on the eastern lakefront of Osoyoos Lake. This is a light rosé. This is that showcase strawberry, raspberry, a little bit of herbaceous later. And when you look at the
Sorry, that was my fault.
there you go. So now I'm gonna move on to two new wines here. What I want to do here is something pretty cool. So for people who follow us since the beginning, I mean, since the inception of Carl's Wine Club back last year, one of the, was it our first? I think it was our first collector offer. You know what? I don't think so. No, because we were, no, anyway, it was earlier this year. Wow, time flies. We featured Big Head Winery out of Niagara. And Big Head makes a lot of appassimento wine. And what's appassimento? It's when you dry the grape on a liostra or some racks. So you ventilate the grapes until they become small little raisins. So it makes very concentrated wine, and sometimes a little sweeter, like the Amarone style. So Jacob Lipinski is one of the master of that in Niagara, and Big Head are very, very well known. So I have here their 2018 Cabernet Sauvignon Appassimento style. And they gave me another version of their Cabernet. So what they do two styles of Cabernet. One Appassimento and one 100% concrete style. So it's going to be very interesting here to see what's the difference in between. They also do it. This is their raw series that they call. So everything they do in concrete is called raw. I have a Malbec sitting here as well of their raw series. But Big Head is one of the favorite of many of our members in Ontario. So we're gonna do the side by side here. And Mira, would you be ready for Big Head right now, or do you want to wait a little bit?
I don't want to waste so much wine. I mean, I still have this much of one glass.
You guys are hear that, right? She's complaining that there's too much wine. There you go.
Yes.
One thing we need to understand here, okay? These are very young wines. So it's important in the analysis of all that, and I think that what I should do here is to give a quick rating on each wine, because it will be good for me for the review. So let me go get a pen.
I'll get you. Oh, you got a pen. All right. Hi.
Hi.
See, we're like in adjacent rooms. There we go. So Mike got to say hi to Mr. Lipinski just last week.
Oh, good. There you go. So Mount Boucherie, I have the list here. So Mount Boucherie was absolutely fantastic. I will go with a 92 points for Mount Boucherie at that stage and level. The rosé here, am I going with the 89 here? And I do prefer the Heritage series over the Platinum series here with Marinescence. It will be important, especially with the Platinum series, to give it a little bit more time. I try to project in the future, but I really like the sweeter fruits of the Heritage series. So,
And
to me, a little bit more of a,
For the Heritage Series on the nose, I don't know if it's the same for the Platinum, but I get this like herb that I've never had. Like, what is that? Sage? What is that?
On the Platinum, there was like a loads of mint. So there was so much after a mint chocolate on the nose of the Platinum. The Heritage it is, but I threw some Provençal herbs on the top. So I would say it's more like a blend of like dry sage and basil, something like that.
Yeah, totally. It's so interesting. It's so different than the BC wines we've had so far.
Well, for this one, so and let's remember here, the Mont Boucherie comes from the Similkameen Valley, and as per the when we go now back to Mary Innocence, it's from, I believe that their main vineyards are on Niagara on the escarpment, if I believe so. Mike has a good question here. The Platinum is more expensive than the Heritage. Absolutely, Mike. The Platinum's at $15 more expensive, $45 compared to $30. My point is all that. To me, it's not always about the price. I prefer right now how much more ready to drink that the Heritage is. Definitely. Listen, these are 2019 Cab Sauv. They just released. So, and there's a few wines here that even the winemakers didn't want to give me. It's like, no, these are just put in bottles. It's not going to be on the market. Like an example, Intersection. Melissa, the winemaker, called this afternoon. She's like, these wines are not going to be on the market for at least another 2 years. So different wineries has different philosophy about that. But yeah, now okay?
I have to tell them what happened this afternoon. We went to see another winery that's near here. They're like 16 months old. We saw them right when they opened last year. And then we thought we'd go back and see them again and hopefully do a feature with them coming up soon. Reese Creek. And we're there. We're just about to leave. And Carl's like, you don't by any chance have any Cab Sauv? I know you don't have it on your wine menu, but do you have something coming up or something older? And and they're like, well, we have something in barrel, but it's not going to be released for like years. So Carl got a barrel sample a few hours ago of this Cab Sauv that's not going to be released for a long time. We put it in the bottle we had handy.
In a Gewürztraminer bottle. This is in the Gewürztraminer bottle. He told his wife, Jane, go get me a bottle in the tasting room, because we went to the barrel room and I look at all of the barrel and you're just like, I was like, can I get a sample of Cab Sauv? And Mira was like, oh my God. No, you can't do that. Come on, you can't get a little sample.
Well, he's got to get out like all his equipment and all the stuff. They were really nice and they let us have a sample. So I'm so excited to taste that. Even though like no one else will be seeing it for a while, but it's just fun to see the progression from a super young in barrel to some of the older ones we've got, right?
Hey, you need to pause that. Bring your ass here, okay? I need you right here, right now, because that big head Appassimento is absolutely to die for.
Well, you don't need to say that twice.
Yeah. Okay. So which of these? Oh my gosh, the poor Bob. This is terrible. So we need to, at some point, Carl, what we should be doing is when we're allowed lots of people over, we need to have some of you guys who are local come over and help us drink these as we're opening them. Yeah. There we go. So I got, and this one is the raw.
And this one is
Appassimento.
Yeah, but I think that even with the raw, though.
Oh, they smell amazing.
Yeah, and even with the raw, I believe that the raw goes Appassimento as well, but goes in concrete instead of going in barrel. Because at 15.7,
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
I don't believe that it's straight from the press.
Yeah.
It cannot be harvested in November or in October right away in the press and wait at 15.7%. I cannot believe that. So my understanding is they goes at Passimento and one goes in concrete and one goes in barrel. So,
Exactly.
but this is absolutely off the chart.
That's
Okay,
awesome.
so I'll let you. So these two big head from Jacob Lipinski or Andrei Lipinski. Let's put it that way. Andrei is the dad. Andrei was the founder, and Jacob now his son is taking over the whole operation. So, specialist of Passimento wine, doing it with Cabernet Sauvignon, and this is absolutely rocking. I love what's going on right now. I absolutely love it. We have some pretty cool wine here. There you go. Okay. I have to say the big head here, not the raw, but the select big head. Right now, I think it's taking the lead. Taking the lead at a good 93 plus. And I will go to 91 with the 91 for the raw series. 91, 93 plus for the regular big head. What do you think?
Oh, they're just so complex and rich.
Isn't it? It's still pulsing in my mouth. There's so much going on. Absolutely crazy. I think that our next guest is Charlie from Cellar in the Simil Canadian. And Charlie should be here around 6:30. Am I correct?
Yeah. So you got like 40 minutes. You can taste like how many? 5 wines.
Depending on yeah.
Yeah, the rosé with the prosciutto.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Tell us what you're pairing Cab Sauv with if you're having Cab Sauv, or if you're like us, just tasting a whole bunch without pairing them.
I want to know where you guys are tuning from. Let me know, because out east right now, it's what? It's 6 o'clock, so 9 o'clock out east, 6 o'clock here in Western Canada. So where are you tuning in from? What's in your glass? And I want to know, what is your favorite Cabernet Sauvignon around the world? I don't care if it's not Canadian. I understand. There's only me and Mira here who are absolutely Canadian freak. I understand that.
I think a lot of these people are too, Carl.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But wow, the complexity is crazy. So yeah, it was funny today to go shop for International Cab Sauv. That's I haven't shopped for international wines in years. I didn't even know what to look for. So just to give you an idea what I got here, I had the idea to go to Australia. So this is McLaren Vale. Mitolo. Mitolo is a classic from Australia. I know them for their Syrah, the Shiraz, like they like to say. And I got their Cabernet here. It's the Jester 2017. Quilceda Creek. There you go. Yannick Nadeau. That's a regular 100 points wine spectator, or Robert Parker. Quilceda Creek, absolutely, from Washington State. I know them very well. One of the top in from the U.S. That's around the world. I think they have under their portfolio 3 100 pointers. So if I'm not mistaken, so Quilceda Creek, top-notch wine. So I got the Mitolo. I went with also a very popular, a little bit more mass-produced Cabernet here. It's from Decoy. Decoy is property of Dockhorn. So Dockhorn is a winery in Napa Valley. Decoy is their second label. This is their California appellation here. That's mean that their grapes are not only coming from Napa Valley. There's Napa Valley fruits in there, but also outside of Napa. So under the California appellation, 2019 vintage California Cab here. And one thing that we don't know if it's only Cab, because in California, if there's 75% Cab in there, they're allowed to call it Cabernet on the label. So the other 25%, I'm not sure what it is. We will taste that a little later. Let's say I'm gonna have a splash of maybe one of them after my big hand here. And my third here, I went to Chile with Casa l'Apostol.
We were thinking of you, Mike. We were thinking of you, Mike. You challenged Carl to go to Chile, so.
Yeah. And you're like, I'm not gonna see what I was thinking in my head. I'm not gonna see Chilean crap because that's not true. There's many good wine out of Chile. But it's just Cuvée Alexander, Casa l'Apostol Cabernet Sauvignon. These are every year rated really high, like 94, 95 points, James Suckling or Robert Parker. So this is a classic, all around the $40 mark. I wanted to keep it consistent because the Canadian Cab that I have are pretty much all around the 40, between the 30 to the $50. So I wanted to keep it fair. I didn't get any Bordeaux for a reason, because Bordeaux are more blended with Merlot Cab Sauv. I wanted to keep it Cab straight as much as possible. And just like my good friend Ross Kolak here out of Ricinus, Alberta, I got a bottle of Tender Hope Finney Hill Winery from Washington State. So the fun part here is the grapes are from Washington State, from the Finney Hill Vineyard, but it's wine made right here in West Kelowna, 5 minutes from home. My good friend FP Peril at Tender Hope Winery. So this is an hybrid between the Washington fruits all the way here to Kelowna, Canadianly wine produced. So pretty cool.
I like that. Canadianly wine produced.
How did it sound? Canadianly.
It's perfect. I love that.
Come on, I haven't even thought about that. It just came out right like that. 100%.
Tracy just spoke with Marcel, and you might see each other next week.
There you go, Tracy. See you then. I can't wait. So it's going to be a lot of fun. If anyone are listening out of Ontario and planning to be in the Niagara region next week, let me know. I have my day open on Saturday, and willing and happy to meet with some of our members and taste some wine. I've been very lucky to build a great relationship with Marcel Morgenstern and Lou Puglisi at Bellaterra. And when I told them that I wanted to go visit a few wineries, Lou very generously opened the door of his house. He said, "Yeah, you come, you'll be our guest. Come to stay at our house." And Marcel's like, "Yes, I'm going to book us. I'm going to tour you around." Friday night, it's Bellaterra Wine Club member dinner at the winery. I'm going to be guest there, so I'm looking forward to it. The worst part of all of that, there's a tragedy of that. I'm traveling on my own. I'm leaving behind my business partner. I'm leaving behind my business partner for 4 days. It's not going to be easy. I bet that Marcel is going to put everything together to make me forget about that. So, okay.
We're gonna come follow you at some point soon. You go to just make sure it's safe out there. You know.
Hey, let's put a question out there to people who are listening right now. Which international cab should I taste first? I'll leave it to you. First answer. Please let me know, you guys. Tell me, which one of the Tender Hope, of the Queso of the Decoy, or the Mitolo I should crack first. Okay, let me know.
And what are the countries again? You've got US, you've got Washington State, you've got California, Australia, and Chile.
Got that right?
Yeah, there you go. So
Big Head.
Daryl,
Big Head is absolutely fantastic. Jesus, Mary, that is good.
Daryl's saying he can troll you in Niagara. Daryl, if you're there, I mean, we'd love to meet up with you. I mean, Carl, not me, because I won't be there, but next time too, I'll be there, hopefully. So first answer, Carl, was Decoy. Thank you, Yannick. Close second was Chilean. So yeah, we got another for Decoy here.
Hey, which one do you prefer between the raw and the select, Mira?
See, now I'm having trouble remembering. I think it was the raw because you can tell by what's left. So, right? If I had to say, you know, how many glasses is which one, this one I think was the raw. Now, what was your favorite?
The select.
Okay. Well, you know, next time you'll have to label for me because I don't know. I swapped the glasses around. I don't know which one's which anymore.
To me, select has a little bit more brightness. The raw feel a little heavy for me, a little sweeter, but the select, like so far, I have it at 93 plus. This is something pretty fucking good. So, whoops, sorry. I promised myself that I will not swear more than 10 times tonight, okay? So you can check me in for one. Sorry about
that. Okay, so Mike says raw was in my Gigal glass. I think he means Gabriel glass.
There you go.
Raw was here? Then I like the select. God, Mike, you're so good remembering these things. That's awesome.
So I'm going to taste the Decoy first. Nice. Yeah, I know. Okay, let's taste the Decoy. California appellation. So California appellation here, located in Napa Valley, but fruits from a little bit more all over the place. So we have the Decoy made from Duckhorn. Duckhorn were made famous with the production of their Merlot. Decoy Merlot was always on some top wine list where I work, many places. Their decoys, they're also their Duckhorn Sauvignon Blanc was one of the very first popular Sauvignon Blanc, not Fumé Blanc style, but Sauv Blanc, typical Sauv Blanc from Napa Valley. If you're familiar with the Silverado Trail in Napa Valley, Duckhorn is located right past in St. Helena. So just there, yeah. I would say like you pass Cellar Estate and St. Helena on the right side, and the Silverado Trail. That's where Duckhorn is located. A very solid producer. So this is their Cabernet Decoy. Let's see what it's like. There's a little bit minty on the nose.
And I love how you can kind of talk about the geography of places down there, similar to how you talk about down in Osoyoos. And
so you
got me Decoy in this bigger glass.
Yeah, and the Casa L'Apostol.
Casa L'Apostol
from Chile, for Colchagua Valley in Chile, in your Gabriel glass. Okay. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna pour my Casa L'Apostol there. And let's see here. Oh, Casa L'Apostol smells funky. Jesus, Mary. Okay, this is over funky for me. Let it breathe for a bit. It almost smells like sewage. Fuck.
So now you get the raw Carl, because he would never talk like this about a Canadian wine. He just wouldn't talk about it if that were the case, right? He just wouldn't.
You
go
know what? That's mean I'm not crushing someone who I really respect because it's right here in Canada busting his ass off to make some great wine. Someone down in shit. And Casal Apostol is owned by Grand Marnier. It's owned by one of the biggest corporations in the world, so I don't give a flying fuck if I crush them or not. Oops, sorry. Sorry. Swear number 2. I'm at 2 checks.
There you go.
But the nose is awful. Absolutely awful. But that doesn't mean that the wine is bad. And by the way, I like Casal Apostol produce some terrific wines. Hearing like this is a 94 points, Robert Parker. So this is not Cat P. But the nose is absolutely awful. And we'll see. I'll give it a little bit of time. Here on the decoy,
there's something on the nose I'm getting too at the end there where I'm like, I don't really want to try. But it's interesting.
No, that's what I'm doing, Mike. I just put it down. We'll see a little later, but this is over funky to me. So Rob just joined. Rob will have you on a little later. So a good friend, Rob Aversley from Black Market Wine Company. There you go. Whoop, whoop, Black Market. Whoop, whoop, is in the house. Black Market's in the house. There you go. We're going to taste that from Rob a little later on. And Rob is going to come and tell us everything about his 2016 vintage of the unsanctioned Cabernet Sauvignon. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that there was his first vintage of 100% cab. So I can't wait to chat with you, my friend. There you go. So now I'm going to have a sip of the Decoy Cab Sauv. And Mira, if you have a chance with your computer, can you go check, do a little Google search, Decoy Cabernet Sauvignon 2019, and tell me if there's a grape varietal split on that, if there's any addition of anything else than Cab Sauv.
Okay.
I won't be surprised. My guess, it's 80% cab and something else in there.
Guess what else is in there? Because I got it right here.
I would say there's Merlot in there.
Yeah, 86% Cab Sauv, 14% Merlot. There you go. So I love the other. So what was it that you said earlier? It was, I don't know, but right now, you guys have to know I am the researchist. Carl baptized me the researchist. And earlier it was the Canadian, what was it? Oh, I'll have to rewind later and see what you called the Canadian winologist, or what was it? I love when Carl baptizes things.
This is actually, Decoy is pretty decent. Obviously, ripe fruit, plum, raspberry, but it's well made. It's not long though. It cut off pretty short. It's not over sweet like many California, generic California appellation wine. Well, we're talking about a $40, maybe $38 price point here. So it's well made, not overly long and overly complex, not overly grippy. But I would say it's a decent wine. It's an 89 to near 90 points. I would say 89 points due to it doesn't lead me so far. Great opening, good appealing sex appeal in the sense that it puts you in a good mood. But if she takes her shirt off, it's like, whoa, okay, well, might go home. So yeah, good, not absolutely fantastic. To be honest with you, I will take Mount Boucherie 10 times out of 10 over that. I will take the Two Big Head over that. And yeah, but it's a good wine. It's not a bad wine. So let's see what
this was the Decoy, right? I had the one that was Castle di Apostol or whatever here.
Yeah, the one who stinks, it's the Casal Apostol.
Yeah. Yeah. So the decoy, you know what strikes me about this one is the tannins are so overpowering that I'm having trouble enjoying this one. It's a little off balance, but like who's saying, Yannick's saying, you know, pop and pours are like that. Funky big reds need time. And for this one, for the decoy, yeah, maybe it just needed some more time. We decided at the start of the night that we don't have 20 decanters. Therefore, we cannot treat all the wines equally. So we are not decanting, right? So maybe this is one of the ones that needs some decanting. I don't know. But what I can say, are you on to the Casa d'Apostol now?
It's still, there's still a little bit funk, so I'm gonna let it sit for a little bit. I just washed my mouth with some rosé. So what I will do now, let's get back to the question to our people. Should I do Bellaterra 2016, Foreign Affair 2016, or Cellar 2017? Which one do I go with first? This is the members' choice here.
I know, Yannick, it's surprising that we don't have 20 decanters because we break so many, but that's true. We should.
Bellaterra, thank you. Who said that?
That, I believe, was Daryl. Let's see, Bellaterra. Oh, it's Jeanette. Jeanette, nice to see you, Jeanette.
Hey, Jeanette. So now I'm going with 2016 Bellaterra Cabernet Sauvignon. Okay, Bellaterra from Niagara-on-the-Lake. These fruits are coming from the 4 Mile Creek appellation. It's 100% Cab Franc, and it weighed at 14.5%. 14.5. So, what I'm interested here is the stylistically what to expect, because what I get with Marinessence, I get a 13% alcohol, very low alcohol Cab Sauv, really much based on acidity and structure and grippy tannin. When I go to Big Head, these guys are almost neighbors. I get, obviously, and Big Head goes with the Passimento fruits. So
they dry out the grapes, right?
They dry the grape. The grapes shrink. The extraction is bigger, and there's a little bit more sweetness, higher alcohol. They weigh at 15 and 15.7 in alcohol. So a little sweeter, more fruit, more. It's more approachable. So stylistically, Marinessence and Big Head are at the both opposite of the spectrum. Now,
I missed it. Daryl's saying Cab Franc doesn't count. Did one of us say Cab Franc? I hope not. No?
Did I say Cab Franc? And if people are going to start to count my mistake tonight, I'm going to get really fucking pissed off.
Oh, you get 3 swears now. 3 swears. Very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because I was worried. I kept saying Cab Franc.
I know. All week I said, Mira, it's not Cab Franc. Okay, Cab Sauv. Okay, if you guys heard Cab Franc one more time today, just don't pay attention. We mean Cab Sauv. Okay, there you go. So Bellaterra, 4 Mile Creek appellation from the Bellaterra vineyard. So Lupe Glisi, before starting Bellaterra Pondview, was a grape grower, King Grape of Ontario in 2008, I believe, and started Bellaterra Winery in Pondview. This is from his home vineyard on the 4 Mile Creek. Produced rich, ripe Cabernet, so I can't wait. I stopped at our good friend Clay Martin this weekend, and he cracked one of these bottles this weekend, and he mentioned to me that the length of that wine is absolutely astonishing. It keeps going and going for like minutes in your mouth. So it's time to go.
So before you say anything about that wine, I got to tell you something about the Mira scale that's new. Okay, so the Mira scale is, do I like the wine or not? And if I like it, how many glasses would I like to have, or bottles, or whatever, right? So there's been a few wines like Pearl Mauriset 2017 19 Chardonnay that I've told Carl I need at least 3 cases of that wine. So
I know. It's that, and if people think it's funny, I don't think it's funny at all. That's true. She's been ordering. If I have to, she sent me out to go buy some stuff, and I come back and she had ordered cases of Pearl Mauriset. And she's crazy about it. Absolutely nuts about it.
And then the same kind of rating scale, you can say when we're rapid tasting different wines, you can tell right away which one I drink faster.
Yeah. Okay.
And so these wines were the 2 international ones. Maybe I'm biased because I've had a lot of Canadian ones, but out of the 8 we've tried so far, these are the only ones I'm fully dumping out. But not because they're bad, only because I have to be selective. I've got 20 wines to taste, right? But it tells you something about the Mira scale. It tells you something. I'll be right back.
Okay, so now Bellaterra's coming here. I love the nose. The nose is like really like blueberry jam. There's graphite all the way across the board. A little bit of cigar box, but oh my God, that's just a sexy nose. I really, really, really love that.
Mike, I'm pouring this one in the Gabriel glass if I forget, okay? This is the Bellaterra. Just kidding.
Here, your medium. Oh shit, that's good.
Which one is that you're having?
That's
a Bellaterra?
That's a Bellaterra.
Nice.
Very well made. There's a. It's really approachable. Soft, creamy texture. Nice tannin. 2016, right? It shows it's a world of difference when you go from a 19 to a 16. These 3 years of sitting down in the bottle soften up these wines tremendously. So yeah, I like that. I would have hoped for a little bit more zip, a little bit more pull in the mid palate, whereas I think there's a little hole. But the finish is great. So it's a medium body, nice opening though. The opening is absolutely spectacular. Front palate, 10 out of 10. Mid palate, I would say it's more a 7 out of 10. And at the end though, it kicks back on. So yeah, I like that. It's well made. There's some body in there. It's not too much on cranberry. It's completely different than, again, the Marinessa. It's like totally different. 3 years younger though. So we have to keep that in perspective. Meryl, what do you think?
Yeah, I would say it's younger for sure. Out of all the ones we've tried so far, 8, 9, whatever it's been, this is one of the grippier ones. To me,
it's 2016. It's one of the oldest.
The Bellaterra. Man, I mean, it's really good and mouthwatering. But it's one of the more flavorful ones, is what I'm trying to say. I guess.
Exactly. Now you're bang on the opening. Like it rushes, like an explosion of fruit at the beginning. So, yeah, appealing. 91 to 92 points to me. I would go with 91. Here, Bellaterra, 91 points. And I will go now with your second glass, Mira, with the pouring affair
Totally.
here. So Niagara Peninsula for both are Niagara Peninsula appellation, and this is the pouring affair. Is there any appassimento in there? Yeah, partial appassimento in there. Weight at 14.9. So we'll see here what it does before the next in line will be the ice cellar. So let's see what pouring affair has to offer. I really like what they do across the board with pouring affair. We had a great rosé. For rosé D, their Chardonnays are good. They do 100% Petit Verdot that I can't wait for my brother-in-law to tell me what he thinks. It was his birthday gift this year, so we'll see. Their nose is really, really good. I really love the nose of the pouring affair.
Oh yeah, that nose transports you. That's a cool nose. Mm. Mm.
Wow. So I can see here like the impact and the effect of the appassimento grape in there. Bring that soft texture, but also that sweetness of fruit. And don't get me wrong, when I talk about sweetness of fruit, I don't talk about sweet wine here. And this wine, even for 2016, still pretty grippy.
Mm.
So yeah, to me, it's more, and obviously it makes sense because they're a appassimento, so it's more on the big head type of flavors. Plummy, raisiny, but there's a little bit more grip here. The tannins are more powerful than the big head. So yeah, that's a full body. This is really darn serious. Whoa. Let me have a little bite here.
Yeah, I had to do the same because it's quite like big. I was just thinking some of these wines are really good for food and other ones are good like if you're just sipping wine, right? But this one, the Foreign Affair, is, I think it's a food one, hey?
No doubt, it's a steak wine.
Mm.
Kids are doing well. Kids are doing well so far, eh?
Yes, they are. I was gonna say, we should do a prize draw. Then you're gonna chat with who's next here? Charlie. And so should we do prize draw and then Charlie?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. What do you want to do? What do you want to do?
What's that?
What do you want to do for a draw?
Well, I was thinking, this is kind of fun. I cook with wine. Sometimes I even add it to the food. So it's a fun little cloth. It's hand embroidered. It's like not hand embroidered, but it's embroidered here in Kelowna. And we can pair that with a nice Gewürztraminer soap. It is actually made with the Gewürztraminer juices from Priest Creek Farm.
The must. Yeah, it's made with the must.
Priest Creek, not farm. Priest Creek Family Estate Winery that we were visiting earlier today. It smells amazing. It has sparkles on it. It's very special. Anyway,
so, yeah, do that. And after that, I will let me here swirl a little bit more of the Chilean.
Ken, which one's your favorite saying? Here, I'm going to share my for the draw here.
Oh, if the cat spirit is saying, it's probably what's on the
Oh,
what's in the glass.
I cook with wine. Sometimes I even add it to the food. Yeah, I love it.
That funk on the nose here with the Casa d'Apostol turned into a little bit of gasoline. That's crazy.
You still have those ones. I just have the Canadian ones. I got rid of the other ones. Good
Well,
for you.
because you have to come back and forth. For me, it's easy to just pour, but I let the Casa d'Apostol sit a little bit and breathe, hoping for the nose to change a little bit. And I'm not sure if it's changing for the best though.
Yeah, Lisa picked up the Cab Franc Vertical from Pond View Bellaterra, and she's saying maybe on December 4th she'll crack that. That would be a fun reason to get together with people, Lisa. That'd be great. Good. Okay, so here it is. We'll add this draw to the stream here.
And while you're doing that, if you allow me to talk about the Casa d'Apostol, it's extremely green, like green pepper and some gasoline. And I'm getting I feel like if I'm at the gas station. And I do like the grip though. The grip is snappy, and once in a while, I'm not always looking for round, silky, soft tannin. Sometimes I like the grip, but I can't get over the taste here. It's just no, it's 86 points to me.
Which is really interesting, Carl, because a lot of what people think of Canadian Cab Sauvs is, oh, they can't ripen them enough, so there's going to be a lot of green pepper.
Yeah, but I think that's why people told me to get some Chilean Cab. So no, I'm not going to start this on this path.
Okay, well, part of it too is we have 14, 15 Canadian ones. We only have 4 international ones. So, you get sometimes the luck of the draw.
And my goal here, it's not to bash International Cab Sauv. It will be absolutely lunatic because it's the best grape around the world. What I want to do here is really highlight the good of ours.
Well, here's what's crazy, Carl, is this was actually my idea to bring in the international ones, because I said, I've been tasting wine seriously, like where we tasted, I don't know, almost 1,000 wines now in the last year since the start of the pandemic. And I probably had tasted like 10 wines before that. I mean, I was, pregnant and breastfeeding for like 10 years of my life. So I was not tasting wines. So I don't know what Carl knows, which is he knows international wines really well because he spent 25 years doing that. But I don't. So I said, Carl, for my benefit, I need to make sure, that what we're saying is for real. Are we really at world class? Or am I going to taste an international wine and say, oh, that's way better, right? And so this is really encouraging because so far I'm like, yeah, no, this is kind of one of the under 90 points, under 85 points kind of things for me.
Yeah, so. But the thing with Casa d'Apostol, I believe that wine is faulty at the moment. Like this, it can be, because these wines are good. Casa d'Apostol produce generally and year in and year out some really good wines. And Cuvée Alexandre is I remember when I started Belgo back in Calgary back in 2004 when I wrote the first list. Casa d'Apostol, Cuvée Alexandre was on my list of opening. I had the 2001 vintage when I wrote my first list. So these wines are great, but when I'm tasting here, there's something faulty in there. I'm not a very specialist of this thing, to pinpoint exactly which kind. Is it VA? I don't think it's it's definitely not VA. Is it Brett? Maybe it's Brett, but it's not the animal kind of farm kind of stuff. It's more like it's gasoline. It's weird. So yeah, back to this would be my last sip of the Pouring Affair 2016, partially Appassimento. I think it's very well made here. I give it a 92 points. And let's say here, like if that's what we're tasting, and if people can call me crazy because most of the wine will be highly rated, well, that's expected because winemakers give me their top wines. So they didn't want to feature the entry level tonight. That's for them, it's a platform to the world. So for them, they wanted to showcase their jewel. Like example, Charlie with his reserve Cabernet, there's just a few, like under like 100 cases or 150 cases made. These wines are not going anywhere but at the wine club, at their own wine club. That's where we are members. Yeah. We're gonna get some of these, and like just for special client at the tasting room. So like, don't call me crazy if you notice that all of these wines are 90, 92, this and that. Yeah, it's expected because everyone who supplied the sample today gave me their best stash. So yeah. But that Appassimento Foreign Affair, I love it.
Right now, the Mira scale status, Bella Terra, Foreign Affair Appassimento, but I'm not done yet.
Way fuller body with the Foreign Affair.
That's the Appassimento, yeah. Right.
Fuller body, bigger in the mid palate. What I see with Bella Terra, beautiful natural fruit at the beginning, like wonderful. But there's a little hole in the mid palate,
which makes it more easy for me to enjoy.
Absolutely. Well, there's a style, and that's what we were talking with Clay Martin when you had that wine. That's what he was looking for that night. It was late. He didn't want something too big. He just had a snack. It was, like he said, it was absolutely perfect for what he wanted. Mm-hmm. So
whereas this one, I love it, but I need a steak with it.
Yeah. Exactly. This is like, that ripped your face off.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic, but yeah, I mean, keep trying with my Gouda cheese there. It's not quite enough. Maybe this Cervelat will cut it.
Okay, so now let's go to Cellar.
No. So now let's do
our. Sorry.
Okay, here we go. Oh, Leslie! Woo!
It was like Leslie won something another while ago, right?
Yes, I think quite a while back though. But yes.
There you go. Well, congratulations, Leslie. You get a Gewürztraminer, a soap, and also a nice little cloth with Ken McAllister's favorite saying.
There we go. I cook with wine, and sometimes I even put it in the food. Fun. I'll be in touch with you later, Leslie. Thank you.
Okay, so here, what I'm pouring right now, it's probably the wine that I was the most excited about in the whole lineup. Okay.
What is this, Carl?
This is Cellar.
Oh yes, we've heard so much about Cellars.
Yeah. So here, okay, let me read you the back label. It's 2017 growing season was a dream vintage in Niagara. That's before 2020 happened, I guess. It started cool and wet, giving wine lots of growth, and ended very hot and dry. We were able to pick 100% estate grapes at 25.9 bricks. So 25.9 bricks, it really matured. Like the wine, the sugar level was absolutely perfectly high. You want to pick at that level. So when we were talking with Jeff earlier, well, Jeff make reference at 25 bricks. So anyhow, they pick the great level of phenolic, 12 months in French oak and American oak barrel. This wine is big and bold, but very elegant. So let's see what I think about that. Oof, really, really dark fruit on the nose. Again, this is 2017 vintage. So in between, like this, like now we're at 4 years old. So these wines are just starting to come together, right? So yeah, classic cab on the nose. There's a little bit of bell pepper here. Can smell the oak a little bit. Dark fruit. Tobacco. Have you seen maybe Charlie in the green room or something? No? You're on mute.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I need to go rescue our phone from the children in case he's trying to get through to us. So I will see you guys in a minute.
So I'm gonna taste Ice Cellar. So here, Ice Cellar, Niagara on the Lake, estate fruit at 100%. So let's see. Holy shit. This is big. This is grippy. That's an absolute monster. So that leads me to talk about when we're talking about California cab or international cab with big structure, big tannic structure. Well, guess what? This is right in that ballpark. This is big. This is juicy. This is ripe. There is everything that the modern New World cab has. This is bigger than the Decoy from California. Definitely bigger. I would say it's grippier than the Finney Hill, Tender Hope Finney Hill from Washington State. I can't really compare to. I cannot really compare to the Chilean wine because I think it's faulty. But the grip, it's snappier in the Chilean. But here with Ice Cellar, Jesus, this is big. This is grippy. It's another one, but without appassimento, this one. So to me, this is Mother Nature bringing the grape at the ripeness level where if you blind taste me, I don't go cold climate necessarily. There's a beautiful freshness and acidity. That's undeniable. But take out that extremely sweet over extraction that you find in California. And I completely get that there's a style there. A lot of people like that. But this is part of, to me, I would say, like I traveled Napa Valley a few times. I did lots of tasting in Napa Valley. I know how to compare valley floor fruits versus mountain fruits in Napa Valley. So when you go from Oakville, Rutherford, and St. Helena on the valley floor, and you go after that to Mount Veeder or Owl Mountain or Moon Mountain, but there's a very different style of wine. This is like a little bit like Stag's Leap District here. Grippy, juicy, not overly sweet, in a high quality. So I put this Ice Cellar. It's absolutely astonishing. This is wow. Oh my God, this is great. And I'm surprised because I was expecting from Big Head, from Foreign Affair, with their appassimento in there, a little bit like more approachable style, because Marinessence need to sit for like a 13% alcohol and more on the acidity level, has their own style right now. If I look at the whole thing that we tasted from Ontario so far, Marinessence are more on the cranberry, more on the snapshot, and more on the herbs, herbaceousness, acidity, and red fruit, I would say. So, but here at 25.9 bricks, and how it shows right now in the bottle, this wine has another at least 10 to 12 years. This wine, I would say, just to drink on its own, needs another 3 years to soften up. I like them often when they're powerful, when they grip you a little bit of your face. But there's everything around to make it really fun to drink. So this Cellar, it's reading right at the top right now with the big head select. Wow, I'm almost tempted to go 94 points. This is whoa, this is something else. Just not a big fan of the nose. I don't know why. There's something like but on the palate, this is this is pretty impressive. When Mira comes back from fishing for hunting for the phone, I can't wait to see what she have to say. But this is big. This is another steak type of wine. And again, I'd like to come back to Bellaterra, because that 2016 Bellaterra is more of the medium body, in a sense that it comes out fruity, ripe, sexy, easygoing, and it never like grip you and make it super only like exclusively food friendly. It can be drink on its own and be extremely enjoyable. Same type of Langdome, that these two wines, Bellaterra and Cellar, has the same type of minerality and peppery finish. So it's maybe they're probably like next door to each other. So I can feel like the same type of finish there. But Cellar, a year younger than Bellaterra. That's a big difference here. I'm not sure if Fred at Bellaterra used any American oak barrel. Here, this is disclosed with ice. There's American oak here. That's maybe like that little sweetness at the beginning. But the tannin is grippy, like really powerful. Right at the top, though, I'll tell you one thing. Not sure yet exactly where, but definitely a 93 plus, maybe. Like, I'm sure if I decant that wine and I get rid of that funky nose, this wine can go all the way up to 95 points. This is an absolute beauty. Wow. If anyone, again, tells me that you can't ripe Cabernet Sauvignon in Canada, or only in the south of British Columbia, in Oliver or Sawyers, they don't know what they're talking about. They just don't know what they're talking about. This is fully ripe. Absolutely fully ripe. It's just wow, it's amazing. I'm flabbergasted. I'm just so impressed with the quality. It's really, really, really impressive. So here, you guys excuse me, I have to have a few bites here and there because first I didn't have dinner before the show, and we have for another 2 to 3 hours to go. Even if I don't drink, my mouth is getting and I have all the BC wines to go through. So I guess that we are done. The whole Ontario lineup. I just wanted to give another shot to the Marinescence Platinum. So Kelly, the Cellar Cab Sauv is 2017. So having a hey, my friend Marcel. Marcel, thanks for tuning in, brother. So we're going to be there at Cellar on Thursday, having a tasting with them. So let's see and let's hope that they have enough stock that we can put something together. Because if I can feature Cellar, I will be super, super happy. And chatting with my friend Marcel, we were thinking in October to do a mix pack from Ontario. So put together, maybe choose 4 wineries or 3 wineries with 3 or 4 bottles each in the 12 pack, so we can do a Niagara on the Lake type of pack with 4 different producers or something like that. So something pretty. We have that in mind. We've been chatting about it. So, by the way, for people who just tuned in, I'm going to be there next week. So we'll make something like that happen. So that Marinescence is really, really minty. Now we're talking about the Platinum series. Yeah, there's a super minty on the nose, like a little bit like the After 8, like the milk chocolate mint nose. Cherry. Yeah, big difference between the 13% alcohol that we've seen in the Marinescence and all of the other ones that we have here so far. They all weigh at least at 14.5 alcohol, and it's Bellaterra. When we go here with Cellar at 14.5 as well. So 4 Mile Creek appellation, right on the dot here at 14.5. Foreign Affair 14.9, and after that, so a few of them are at 15 or 15.5 when we go Appassimento. So big difference here. And I will be curious to see how, which date they are picking in the vintage, like 2016 and 17. I know that Marcel is right there. So Marcel, if you have that information, I would love to know. Not exactly the picking date exactly, but do you guys pick more early November? Is these vintage has allow you to pick November, or do more 3rd week of October? So, and this makes a pretty big difference as well on the bricks and on the alcohol level at the end of the day. So it will be interesting to know. If you have any picking date, we'd like to know. Okay, so now, before that, my good friend Charlie joins us here. No, Charlie's not there yet. So, hey, she's back.
How's it going?
So I want you to taste.
Okay, but let me just first clear my glasses here. Here we go.
There you go.
What's this one?
This is the surprise of the night so far.
Cellar.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
and this is 2017.
17, an absolute monster.
Oh wow, that's a really
An absolute monster. And that was my biggest complaint about that one. It was the nose. Like, the nose was not the most appealing nose, but wait until You get that. So that's the last of Ontario.
Okay.
So
Now
now
we're going to BC, which
going
will
to
be
BC.
so different. I find them so different.
But you know what? Like, it's
Okay.
so first from BC, 2017
okay.
as well. So you have two 2017 in your hand. In the Gabriel glass, you're Osoyoos. In the other glass, you are Forlong Creek appellation, Marcel's neighbor. Okay.
Okay. And
So
that's interesting because on the nose, this definitely has that strong pungent something that I don't know how to describe yet. But this says a similar.
we'll see.
Interesting. Okay.
A little bit of
Let's go
American
back to my
oak
spot.
as well. So in the ice
In the ice
cellar.
cellar.
Yeah, a little bit of American oak.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, so Charlie, I'm not sure at this point. I tried do you have his cell phone number? Yeah.
That's fine. That's
Okay.
fine. I have so
Anyway.
much to try.
I'll send
So-
him a note. I did send him a note, and we'll see if it's possibly he didn't get the link or something like that. But anyway,
But that might be possible because anyway, he was not the only one.
yeah, Jeff didn't get the link either.
Just
so,
didn't get the link, so
hopefully.
okay. So just to recap a little bit, I'd like to say that Ice Cellar is a big surprise. As my first taste of Ice Cellar, I am so impressed. Sorry. Big number one, I would say number one for my Ontario taste since we have started right now. Big surprise. I love how Bellaterra keep it so authentic. Let's put it that way. It's not because you do Cabernet Sauvignon that you have to go big. This is not a prerequisite. If you keep everything straightforward, I love what Bellaterra has done. Beautiful entry, medium body, nice length, big head, big hit. I love what Big Head has done with their two. The raw is a little bit, have a little too much sweetness for me, but it's really young, so that will might have time, may have the potential to calm down and balancing out. Big fan though of the Select Cab, big fan. Pouring affair, well done. Need some food with that. And again, Ice Cellar, boom, way to go, guys. Okay. Now we are going to Ontario, to BC in Osoyoos. We are with Lakeside Cellar 2017. This one is probably the most affordable cab that we have here tonight at like $32. Rarely you find a quality cab at that price. So
Carl Boucher, I have a quick update for you.
yeah.
First, Adnan, it is so cool to have Adnan Aysel here with us, the winemaker for Ice Cellars. And so thank you, Adnan. And looking forward to Carl meeting you next week and hearing all about it. Second, I want to let you know that Charlie is on his way. They had a rowdy club member kind of a live event virtually. So he is just he's just trying to
That's all good. Adnan, nice meeting you virtually, Adnan. That is really cool. Thanks for tuning in. I have to say, usually Marcel's wines always take most of our attention, but tonight, I have to say, I think you're stealing the show, my friend. What you've done with your Cab Sauv, it's really impressive. So, tips of the hat to you and your team. In the vineyard, in the winemaking facility, this wine is an absolute bomb, a potential 95 points in my book. And you are going on my wine of the year list, that is for sure. So I'm beyond impressed with that. The balance, the structure, complex as hell, and also like the torque and like the full body of that wine. It can go head to head with Stag's Leap District in Napa Valley, and I will not be scared at all to do that. And that's my point of the show tonight. It's to tell the world that if we have a seat at the table, we can compete. These type of wine there are world-class. And Adnan, this is absolutely world-class Cabernet Sauvignon. As much as all of these producers as well that we've tasted so far, well done, well done, well done. You know, I've put some international wines here. Decoy from Duckhorn, California, based in Napa Valley. That's a decent wine. It's not badly made. It's a $40 Cabernet Sauvignon here. But this is nothing close than what we got from Cellar. Not even close. And I would like to have Robert Parker or James Suckling sitting right next to me, blind taste them on these two wines, and I will bet my house here on the lake in Shannon Lake, Kelowna, that there's no way you pick that wine against Cellar. There's no way. So, hey, listen, everyone. We're not only good at producing ice wine or Pinot Noir or Riesling. Fuck that. I do not agree. And what's in my glass right now, prove it. And it's not me just having a Canadian palate. I don't believe in that. I taste and I work with international wine for 25 years before I'm sitting in that chair. But what we have here, just like, it's flabbergasting. Like, it's impressive, the quality of our cab that we have right now. Again, Decoy by Duckhorn, based in Napa Valley. Well done. This is good wine. But this is nothing impressive. Nothing to blow my socks off. Absolutely not. This is good. But for the same price, this is not even close. Not even close. There's one that I haven't tried yet from the international selection, and I would like to get there before Charlie is joining me.
Well, I have to tell you something. Charlie is here. He got held up at the tasting room, actually, with some awesome people at the tasting room. But he is here. You can't see him yet. So, are we ready to go bring in Charlie?
Hey, when you're ready, you tell me.
I am ready. So here we go. I'll have all of us on, and then I'll jump out because I am feeding the kids tortellini in a minute.
Are you?
Oh yeah.
Charlie, my man.
Carl, how you doing? Good to see you.
Hey, living the dream, brother. We're having a heck of a night here.
I bet you are. Big day today. You know, that's why I apologize for being a little bit behind schedule, but we were doing a little bit of celebratory International Cabernet ourselves in the tasting room with a late party, and and so we're so glad to be here.
Hey, you know what, Charlie? I completely understand, and I have so much wine to taste tonight that I'm not gonna hold it against you. I am so happy to have you in, and glad and very grateful that you agreed to supply a bottle of your 2018 small lot collection Cab Sauv Reserve. Charlie, tell me about this one, and tell me about the 2018 vintage in your...
Yeah, you betcha. So, Jesse's even giving me a hand, and oh, look at the whole family in on it.
Hi, Carl.
Hey, Artie.
How's it going? I love it. That's what I'm talking about. I have mine on the other side here. Like 5 minutes ago, they were half naked, so I cannot bring them in.
Thank you.
I'm going to do damage control, Carl.
He was doing the same thing at the second.
I feel you. I miss you guys. Hi, Mira.
Well,
See you.
The wine business is full of families, and this is the way we navigate it all, right? We got to make time for everything.
That's it. You got it right. Hey, Charlie, I forgot. I wanted to recap quickly for what I've just done here. We tasted 6 wines from Ontario. I have 2 or 3 of them were partially Appassimento with Cabernet. So like weighing like around the 15, 15.2, 15.5 in alcohol. But I also had 2 wine from the 4 Mile Creek appellation in Niagara, weighing at 14.5. One of the 2017 Ice Cellar, 25.9 bricks when they harvested. No appassimento. This wine is an absolute bomb, Charlie. I wish you were with me here. I would love you to taste that. Absolutely wonderful. So yeah, so I was really impressed when people tell me that here in Canada, it's too much of a cold climate. It's impossible to produce good cab. We don't have the weather. It gets cold too early. I cannot, like right now, I have all the argument in my bag to call bullshit on that stigma, because what I'm tasting here tonight versus some international cab that I have here, these wines are not better than what we produce here. So tell me why, and tell me what the Similkameen Valley has to offer for Cabernet.
Sure. So, growing Cabernet in our latitudes, what Cabernet needs is length of year. So we always get the intensity, but we get it in a shortened period of time. Like our frost-free days are shorter than, for example, other more infamous cab regions, and Napa is probably an obvious example. They get a very long season. So what we really need to focus on the viticultural side is, we got to get it right. We got to get it done early. So, we're not exactly your 5 ton an acre cab that other regions can create or produce. We need to focus on premiumizing Cabernet, and that comes with that low yield. And then often what we'll find is like Cabernet for us is something that we always pick last. And so, kind of looking at the image, even on your banner here, if your guests can see that, this is indicative of a really late type situation when we would pick cab when the leaves are yellow, and sometimes we've already kind of experienced a frost 3rd, 4th week of October. All of our Cabernets are planted on the highest sites of our vineyard so that we do have the length of season. But we do find that we easily get that 25, 26 bricks is not the goal. Sugar is not always the goal. What is that phenolic ripeness in Cabernet, because it just seems to hold on to those herbaceous characters so long. So, in the Similkameen, we're really blessed with that intensity of heat that we get. Us at Courcelette, really fortunate to be working on the highest parts of the valley walls. So really stony, well-draining soils that allow us to control the stress of our plants through the whole growing season so that we get that vigor management correct through the whole growth cycle. But then in the fall, we do October 20th, October 25th. Maybe we've had a frost, maybe not. Every vintage is a bit different. But those frosts actually kind of cook and cure what is a green tannin. So it's really interesting. And we experienced this in 2019 where we had an earlier frost, and it actually really cooked. It freezes the green herbaceous character out of Cabernet. So when you think about growing Cabernet in our regions, we're just faced with different challenges. But can we get it right? Absolutely. And hopefully you agree that the wine in your glass now, if you're tasting our 18, is a phenomenal example. Our reserve Cabernet is aged for an extended period of time. So we're, about 30 to 36 months in the cellar. So we do have to be a little bit more patient with that introduction of managed oxygen, which accelerates and softens the aging impact so that we don't have to age this wine 10 years in the bottle. We get a lot of success unreleased year 2, year 3, year 4. It makes a really palatable, it simulates a wine that's aged almost 10 years because we barrel it for an extra 8 to 10 months. So, Cabernet is always never the easiest one to get right, but absolutely. I mean, we grow phenomenal Cabernets. I'm sure you've got a bunch on your shelf behind you there.
You know what? Like if you ask my impression here, it doesn't jump right, like it doesn't bite me right from the get-go, right? It comes up smooth. It comes up, there's a nice ripeness of fruit. So it doesn't come acidic, it comes nice and smooth. But after that, what I'm seeing is the kick in the mid palate. After you got the tobacco and like a little bit more earthiness, whack, now the grip takes over and the length. this wine lasts. It's probably the longest palate that I had since we started today. Like this is easily a 93 points Cab Sauv because the back end of that, it's smooth in the opening. And after that, it lasts and goes and goes and goes forever. And when you say 36 months in barrel, but now I that's why, like, that's how I get that smoothness, but the length of that wine. There's a nice complexity in there.
It's about managing tannins. You know, it's so funny because like you can have something that tastes quite young or herbaceous on the vine, and we can be pushing. Like this year's a great example. Like we've got Cab now that's 22 bricks. Like, so there's no question we're going to be 28 at harvest. It's about getting that seed tannin developed, getting that phenolic ripeness, getting that skin to break down, which just takes time. And so that's why Cabernet is always a tricky one for us. We got to be patient, you know, and we got to push the most of our season, and thankfully we are. We're patient, so it's okay.
And you know, at 2018 here, so did you got it up all the way up to November, first week of November, or when did you?
So yeah, you know, it's always a goal. So we'll push everything as late as we can, and then we realize that we got to pull the trigger on stuff, and that'll be have we picked Cab in November? Absolutely. In fact, in 2000. I'm losing track of my vintages here, but it was last year we picked Cabernet in snow because we had that crazy fluke early snow. And so we're out there in boots, and we literally had to kick the plants to shake the snow off the clusters so that we get the cleanest and purest form of the pick. And so these are challenges with Cab. We got to push to the latest part of the season in order to make the best Cab, and particularly when we think about our reserve that you're tasting with us today.
This is absolutely fantastic. The result again. So what I have here, Charlie, I choose your wine to go head to head with Mitolo from McLarenville, Australia. This is the Jester here. So Jester is usually like close to $40 in the retail, and let's see how it fares between each other, okay?
Yeah. Let's do it. I wish I was on your end, you know, enjoying that other wine as well. I like to explore.
So this weight at 14.5% alcohol, I would say that doesn't have the grip that what you have, and we are here in the well, this is one vintage ahead of you, so you're at 2017 with the Mitolo, but it's not in the same weight class. This is medium body. You are more on the fuller body, definitely grippier, definitely longer. The length of your wine, it's all at least double the length that the Mitolo. Mitolo cut off, I would say after 5-6 seconds. Yours will last 15, 20 seconds, developing, evolving, and changing. So it's not even close. Not even close.
Yeah, it's again, a region like Australia would have 9-10 months of vine development, and they would probably, for their economic reasons, hold something in the 6 to 7 to 8 tons an acre. It's a completely different wine approach to winemaking. Their economy is entirely different, but it's about what's in the end product, and that's what matters. And so, you know, there is naturally a freshness from our latitude, from BC, Ontario, Canada Cabernets. There's a big push in the marketplace that, you know, people are loving wines with tension, and that tension is defined by acidity and you know, approachable yet intense tannin. So wines with tension are in, and you know, you can't really hit the marketplace at 15.5% alcohol and have these really chubby cabs and get away with it anymore. The people are looking for something a little bit more complex and fresh. And so our timing's great to be in the market for Cabernet internationally and abroad. There's Canada's going to get it right. There's no doubt.
Absolutely. And when we're talking about production for the small lot reserve cab, we're talking about what, 100 cases?
Yeah, we did. I think we did 175 of this one. And so what we do now is is age half of the lot in oak vats and then the other half in standard barrel formats. And it kind of helps us kind of fine tune and season the wine accordingly. It's not about, the extended aging isn't about driving more oak impact. It's like I was saying before about oxygen transmission and getting that tannin developed and really giving what is this really cool tannin. It's thirsty for oxygen. And so that's the design. We'll change the production anywhere from 150 to 170 cases is kind of our reserve line.
And
Yeah.
when we talk about flagship wines, I know your Talus, it's the flagship. What's your percentage of Cabernet that you get in the Talus?
Well, we do naturally, take some of our very best barrels. We're about 30% of Cabernet Sauvignon in our Talus, anywhere from 20 to 30%. Yeah, that changes every year.
Yeah, no, it's very, very well made. Question for you: if you go international, what's your favorite region for cabs?
Well, I got a good colleague who's doing some amazing stuff down in Napa, and so I always explore some of their wines because they wave a huge flag in terms of Cabernet, and so in the marketplace, people really warm up to that. Washington's got great cabs as well. I'm always really impressed with what's coming out of Washington. That would probably be the two, Washington and Napa naturally, just because of the stereotype, just being in the business, we have to understand, the evaluations of their wine. I mean, there's lots of Cabernets that are in the market for like $300-400 a bottle. And so it's always interesting to taste that and to use it as a benchmark for why, tell me more about this wine. And so, that's it.
And you know what, guys? I'm not saying that California doesn't produce good cab. This is come on, Napa Valley, it's Mecca, right? They have so many wonderful ones, like Carter, or they have a plethora of great cab. But my thing here, and why we're here tonight, and I just want to show that we can have a seat at the table because our Cabernet across the country definitely have the potential to be sitting with some of these top cab. Not the same style. Stylistically, it's completely different. But we have some amazing product around here.
Well, Carl, to give you more detail to my answer, when I'm out seeking a cab, it's all R&D. I'm in the business of just understanding wine. And so I don't always just go out and say, I want to find my new favorite cab. That's not what it's about. It's about understanding why the marketplace is accepting to these wines. And there's just always lessons to learn, right? It's there's lots of great cabs. I'm always floored. We've got a great portfolio of 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12 cabs on our shelf, all from BC here, and I'm always blown away. They hold up well. So it's
Lately, tell me which vintage you think was the best vintage in the Similkameen for you guys at Courcellette. Which vintage was the perfect vintage for Cabernet right there?
Well, in recent history, 14, 15, 16, and 17 were all great cab vintages for real. 18, we're tasting it now, also really great. 19, I'm so excited about the stuff we have in barrel because, of course, our reserve is still in-house here in tank. And so, these are all really exciting wines. 14, 15, 16, those are phenomenal. And at this point, too, when I say that, they've kind of had that 5 years of a combination of cellar and bottle aging. And so, they're gorgeous. They're phenomenal wines.
Well, that is one of my challenge right now because all the sample that I get here are from 16 to 19, right? I have to project the wine in 4 to 5 years because if people ask me, are they ready to drink? Well, I will suggest at least an extra 2 years to avoid that, a little bit like that smash in the face. But some of them, like yours, open up fairly nicely. There's a Bella Terra here for the 4 Mile Creek appellation in Niagara, open up super soft and have a very long spicy finish and a little bit like what you have. But 2018, for me, I'm impressed how soft it is in the opening. And I like the length of, so definitely You got a 93 points on that, Charlie. It's fun to drink. I love it.
That's great, Carl. I love to hear it. It's so great to participate here. And
Has Jessie showed you my email that I sent her when I read Anthony Gismondi review last week? I sent her.
I did. I saw it. I saw it. You know, like,
I don't want to go live on all that, but I was pretty pissed off.
well, their rating system is their own, right? And this is the, points are, always give us some confidence that we're pushing our wine program in the right direction. And it's always great to hear, of course, because there are great complementing critical analysis, but everyone's got their own point system. And so someone's 80 and someone's 95, and that's just the way it goes. It's, and that's great. And that's
probably have a thick skin from now. Exactly. Like you take the positive out of it. But yeah, so sometimes I'm just wondering, is there any 93, 94, 95, 96 points in their scale? So what's that mean? But no, Charlie, we're so
they
happy.
don't.
Yeah.
they don't. Like they really don't. They don't really rate anything over 92. So if you get 91, then you're really happy. Yeah.
Exactly. But we're really happy for what you provide us. You've been one of the most successful offer that we've done in the recent months. People keep emailing. Can we get more? I think we did a big dent into your rosé inventory.
It's gone, Carl. It's all gone. Yeah, we got nothing.
Hey, come on. It was my number 2 across the country this year. So you guys are doing a great job. And I think Mira and I have very, very soft spots for couples who run a business, because we can see exactly it's the same passion that we're doing on our side. We really love what you guys are doing. Keep up the great work, my friend. Thank you so much for joining me tonight and bringing us your perspective on Cabernet.
Well, it's great to. I'm just so happy to be here, guys. Thanks for having me on, and I see Mira's logged in. So thanks, guys, and happy Cab Day to you. And just love working with you guys. So keep up the good work yourselves.
We can't wait for our wine club shipment.
Yes, of course. We're really excited to share that with you, Carl. We've got lots of good stuff coming down the wine pipeline. So we're excited to have this conversation again.
Enjoy the evening with the girls, and we'll chat soon. Okay, thank you very much. 93 points. Well done, Charlie.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.
Thanks.
Bye, Mira.
Bye. We'll see you soon.
Need to come around here, Mira.
Well, I don't have the Corsolets in my glass, so I'm panicking a little bit.
If you come here in the where everything is,
I will be right there. I would like Corsolets in this one, and in the Gabriel, I would like the Black Market, because Rob Hammersley is in the house. So I'll see.
There we go. Rob's in the house. Okay, let's get ready. So bring your butt out here, and we will do just that for you.
Oh my gosh. I hate doing this with the spit bucket here. Sorry.
Black Market in.
Sure, do that because I'll remember it. Okay, so that's that
Black
one.
Market.
That is the Gabriel glass, is the Black Market.
Corsolet, small lot, Cab Reserve 2018. Wow.
Yeah.
So good.
Beauty.
Okay, so here.
Lorna's drinking Oracle right now.
Lorna is one of the only one to have Oracle left somehow.
Somehow. You lucked out on that one somehow.
Okay.
Awesome, because it's totally sold out other places. That's the rosé from Corsolet, yeah? Nice. Lorna actually helped us get this Cab Sauv right here. We were worried we couldn't get down to Corsolets in time because we were heading down to Osoyoos. We didn't think we'd make it back through there in time. And Lorna texts me. She's one of our members in West Kelowna, practically a neighbor from us. And she says, hey, I'm at Corsolets. So he said, perfect. Do you think you could pick up this bottle for us? It worked out so well.
Perfect. I mean, Mira, I'm looking at us, at our blue teeth in the camera, and it's pretty spectacular here. Wow. So for people who don't know, I am not Mira, but I am spinning. Everything goes in the bin down here. So hopefully my mouth can support the other 6 Cabernets that we have to taste. But Karen Chapman, you're talking about the Gabriel Glass, the gold. Unfortunately, the last gold of Gabriel Glass died 5 minutes before the show when we tried to connect all of the devices and one of the cord hit the glass, slammed it. It was full of wine, flipped, splashed some wines all over the office, splattered everywhere, smashed on the concrete, and shattered a million pieces. Karen Chapman, this is what we have left from the last gold Gabriel glasses. So
There we go.
the last of the Mohican. Yeah.
These standard, which are half the price, are becoming our favorites because they look just as beautiful. They smell just as amazing. They're fantastic, but they're half the price, which means that we can break twice as many.
Okay. Our good friend Rob Amersley from Black Market Wine Company in Toledo, BC, is in the house.
Hi, guys.
Rob, good evening, my friend. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic.
It's been quite the marathon.
Not so bad, eh?
Nice. Cheers.
So here you go. We have here your 2016 Unsanctioned Series Cabernet Sauvignon. And I'm not sure if I was correct with my information, but I think it was your first vintage of 100% Cab. Am I correct?
That is absolutely correct. We've actually only done 2 vintages of 100% Cab. That was 16 and 17. And I'm often seen with 2 wine glasses. This is the 16 that you're drinking right now. And this is taken just out of barrel of our 2019s, which will be bottled as a varietal this year as well.
I love it. Darn, I love it. So before we jump in what is in our glass, I want to know what's in your other glass. How's the 19 is taking shape?
Yeah, it's good. It's pretty cool. There's quite a bit of difference in color. The 19s have got a bit more body than the 16 does. A few years younger, so some color might have fallen out a little bit. But the flavors are very similar, almost more than I would expect from rather different vintages. So I'm really excited about the 19.
Okay, so 2016. Can you please tell me about the vintage? What the vintage brought you? Because from my understanding, 2015 was really hot, but 16 was a little colder, but still an absolute beauty of vintage.
Yeah, for my style of winemaking, 16 is probably more on spot for what I look for. My wines tend to be a bit more about elegance and restraint and finesse, and so the really hot years are a bit more challenging to achieve that elegance because you're fighting sugar, you're fighting alcohol. 16 was perfect because we had a fantastic length to the season, which is what you need for flavor development. Charlie was talking about the phenolic ripeness, and that's what we look for more so than sugar. There's different takes on that, and it's all the philosophy of the winemaker. But for me, I'm more about flavor and ripeness of things like tannins than I am about sugar and alcohol. If I can be under 14% alcohol on a red wine, I'm in my sweet spot. So the years that aren't quite so hot are a little better for crafting that sort of elegant style of wine.
Hey, Rob, at 13.8, that's what your 16 is at. I'm impressed with the texture. I have another 13 alcohol. The only one other producer on the listing here that clocked at 13, and it's Marinessence from Ontario. The texture, it's not even close of what you have to offer. Yours is creamy. There's some sweet fruit in the opening. There's nothing which shows like unripe fruit or anything. It's really round. I am so pleased with the opening of the front palate. It's so appealing. And the pepper, it's really peppery.
Yeah. I find that to be in both the Cab Franc and the Cab Sauv from South Okanagan is that little kick of pepper or spice.
Yeah. So what? Let's talk about the source of your fruits, because you're based, for people who are listening to us now from Ontario or Quebec or from the eastern. You are located more in the, let's call it the central Okanagan. Is it fair to call it central?
Yeah, just kind of we're sort of at the precipice of the division between north and south. So we're just south of Penticton, and our site here is a fantastic site for certain varietals, but most definitely not for Cabernet Sauvignon or any of the really big ones. We do grow Merlot on our property, and it's a good site for that. But the Cab Sauv generally takes a week, 10 days, almost 2 weeks longer of hang time, all other things being held equal, just to get that sort of flavor and phenolic development. So a site like here in Caledon, we would rarely get enough of the heat units and the length of the season to fully ripen Cabernet Sauvignon. So we do get our Cab Sauv from down south in Oliver. It's a beautiful site. It's in the Golden Mile appellation, and it's an elevated vineyard, so it's probably a little bit of a contributing factor to the slightly less sugar that we get. Beautiful aspect, southern aspect, and in hot seasons it does fairly well. It doesn't get quite as much sugar as some of the ones in the valley floor or on the east side of the valley. But in a moderate season, it just produces beautiful fruit.
And so you also use Cabernet Sauvignon in your flagship wine in the syndicate.
Yeah.
It depends which kind of year you get, but you like to play with the quantity of Cab you put in your syndicate, correct?
Absolutely. So I mean, the syndicate is sort of our flagship wine. So most of my focus is on building the best possible blend for that. It is a Merlot-led blend and has been since we started. So Cab Sauv plays a supporting role in that. And so depending on the vintage and what the structure of the Merlot is like, we'll use Cabernet Sauvignon to sort of fill in some of those structural gaps. Sometimes it's body that we're looking for, and we usually get beautiful body from our Cab Sauv. And like I said, in the years that aren't too hot, it doesn't raise the alcohol level too much from that blend, which is great from my perspective.
Yeah, no, totally. And there's also, so you produce the syndicate as your flagship wine. Now you're becoming famous for your Syrah across the country. People know the skills you have winemaking Syrah. Tell us a little bit about the Unsanctioned series, because that's something I see every year. Different varietal coming out in the Unsanctioned series. So what's the goal? What's the purpose of that very small batch wine that you put out in this every year?
Well, I kind of joke about this, but it's not really becoming a joke anymore. I sometimes can't help myself when it comes to deciding what wines to put into bottles. And as a small producer of less than 3,000 cases, I make far too many wines. But that's actually one of the benefits of being small, is I can kind of do what I want anytime I want to do it. So what we generally do with the Unsanctioned series is as I'm working through the assessment of the barrels for the blends that we do, in any given vintage, there's usually a barrel or two from each varietal that are going to stand out for some reason or another. And whether it's because it's really, really good or there's just something really unique about it, I've created this Unsanctioned series, which is really micro production. We're talking sometimes one barrel, sometimes it's 2 or 3 barrels or 4, but generally it's 100 cases or less. It's just a way for me to kind of showcase either a really unique or a really special varietal. And they do tend to be 100% varietal wines for the Unsanctioned series. And I guess one thing about us is you won't necessarily find that same wine year in, year out. And we did Cab Sauv in 16 and 17, but we didn't do it in 18. We are going to do it in 19, but we're not doing Cabernet Franc in 19. So lots of change, and so it's a wine that we generally reserve for tasting room and wine club. This year we're actually doing 100% Petit Verdot from 2019 as well. So it's just a way to showcase some wines that may not always be readily available, or there's just something really cool about a well-known varietal.
I'm so impressed. To me, it shows like on the structure, and when you compare to other from across the country, The 13.8, it's such a sweet spot because you're not too lean, not too high in acidity, but also you're not too heavy. I really like where you position yourself on the scale, and it just brings, to me, perfect balance. It is just amazing. I would like you to tell me about your barrel program, because I think in Cabernet, it plays a big role on the end product. How do you treat the wine in barrel before release? What's your strategy? What was your strategy with the 16?
So the 16 that you have was 100% new French oak. So lots of interaction with it was 24 months, almost 24 months in barrel. So a good way to manage the tannins is through your barrel program. We generally use a mixture of new and neutral or older oak. I would say across the board, I would say 40% would be my rough breakdown of new barrels each year. It's nice to have some of the heavier toast to get a bit more flavor, a bit more extraction, a bit more tannin integration with the wine. And then the older barrels, the neutral ones, allow the fruit profile to really shine through. And that's a really delicate balance, particularly for wines from the Okanagan, because the quality of the fruit we have and how expressive and vibrant it is, it really is unique from many other regions in the world, because we have that freshness, that vibrancy. And so not muting it or covering up too much with a heavy hand on the barrel is important. But I'm a traditionalist from the heart as a consumer. So I do believe firmly that oak belongs in wines, and particularly in red wines. So I will continue to have a pretty healthy barrel program. But each vintage is going to be a little bit different too. So, vintages that have a little bit more fruit forward, a little bit less structure, you're going to take a different hand with your barrel program than you would for a really structured year. So I don't work off of a recipe or a formula. I look at each vintage and assess the wines as they're the grapes as they're on the vines, and the wines as they're going through fermentation. And then we figure out how much new oak we want to use at that point.
You may have an edge because we're having a 16 here. So compared to the 18, and I had some 19, obviously there's 3 years in the bottle are very beneficial for a Cabernet, especially for Cabernet. So yeah. I have a challenge tonight. It's to fast forward in 3 to 4 years for the very early release, right? What these wines are going to look like. I was a big fan, and I don't mind to tell of our people, you're going to have the chance to try all of these wines on Saturday with me. I'm looking forward to that. I'm taking the wines. Yeah, I just bought a palm today. I'm going to palm the wine. I'm going to put them aside until Saturday. But okay, keep an eye for the 2017 Cellar. I think it's wonderful. The Cellar that I just tasted with Charlie, 18 vintage, was absolutely great. But I have to say, your 16 right now shows perfectly, absolutely perfectly. I was just showing the legs here closer to the camera. I don't know if you can see. It is just dripping down the glass so beautifully. I have to say, you are at the top 3 of my list so far, Rob. This wine, I was excited to taste it because I've never tasted your 100% Cab. I not know what to expect. I'm absolutely blown away. I'm at the 93, between 93 and 94 points on my scale right now. There's only 2 other wines at that level. Well done. This is wow.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm so happy. Mira, I want to bring Mira in because she has Courcelette and Black Marquette side by side in her glass right now. So I'm really curious to see what she thinks. Mira, maybe she's, but I really want to hear about what she has to say. Yeah. Sorry for making you sitting there.
Sorry, you know what I was doing? I was picking some potatoes uh, with the kids. Pretty fun to go with our slow roasted short rib, which is in the oven, because I asked Carl what pairs well with Cab Sauv, and he says anything like meat. So short rib, slow roasted short rib. Yeah. What would you say, Carl?
Hey,
What time's dinner?
I make sure you make enough so we can bring some on Saturday as well, right? So what I wanted to know, Mira, because I know I gave you 2 wines. I gave you Courcelette 18 and I gave you Black Market. I want to have your assessment.
Okay, so I do remember one thing in my craziness here picking potatoes is that this is the Black Market. Because I remember we put it in the Gabriel glass, so I would remember where it is. Man, that's so easy to drink. That's fantastic. Yeah, I love that. That's a more aged one than the Courcelette's one, right? Like Courcelette's is brand new, right?
Exactly. I think, Rob, where you absolutely nailed it. It's on the texture and how approachable that comes out. And I would say probably the spice at the end comes from the natural, from the terroir, right? It's the South Okanagan classic spice. But I think with the barrel also, that helps to bring these flavor out, though.
Yeah. The 16 was drinking quite soft relatively soon after release. It's definitely kind of mellowed, and those tannins have integrated a bit more over the last couple of years, but it's definitely a bit more supple than our 17 was. 17 had a little bit more structure, a little bit more acidity to it. But the 19 that's going to be going in the bottle in a few weeks is very much like the 16. A little bit more grip, obviously, given its age and how quickly it just came out of the barrel, but very similar in terms of its texture and its body and its weight. And it's I believe it's also a 13.8 alcohol. Don't quote me on that one because I don't have the number in front of me, but it's sub 14.
Yeah, no, it's, I think from the opening, the softness, all the way to the spice at the end. Wow, I'm super impressed and really pleased with the result. Now I have to know, because there's some people listening here and they're texting me, "Oh, Carl, how can we get some?" I know it's going to happen tomorrow. So is there any left?
No, the 16 sold out in 24 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that one is, I've got, I tucked into my library. I had 1 case in the library. I've got 9 bottles left. So yeah, that one's not available for purchase, but, and the 17 sold out quickly as well. So the 19, if you want to get your hands on it, definitely sign up for email list or join the wine club. It's generally the unsanctioned series are primarily wine club exclusives. Depends on the production level, but that's the best way to get them.
That's the best answer, Rob, because now we're building the hype, and you just mentioned 19 is similar to 16. So from what I taste, I'm looking forward to the 19. I am really thrilled for that. So to everyone, Rob just released their new wine club. So get on their website, sign up for their new wine club member. The new aerial tour that you guys got on your website, it's super cool. You get a beautiful view of the property, Skaha Lake and everything. Rob, thanks for taking the time for joining me. I really appreciate your knowledge. I appreciate the detail, but I mostly appreciate what's in my glass tonight.
Awesome.
It's on the top 3 of my list so far at 93 plus points. Wow, absolutely
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers to you. We'll see you on Saturday. Enjoy your dinner tomorrow night.
Yeah,
Naramata Inn, pretty cool place to be on Friday night. And we'll see you Saturday for a Cabernet Sauvignon night at your place.
Awesome. Bye.
Take care. Thanks a lot.
Thanks so much, Rob.
This cab is absolutely off the chart, man. I didn't expect that much out of it. I love what Rob's doing. I love Black Market, but I am really, really impressed by the quality, the texture, and the length of that 2016 Cabernet Sauvignon. Wow, get on the list. It's worth it, man. It's beautiful. And you know, Mira, we might have to sign for another wine club. And if we sign for a second one, I have a feeling that Black Market will be our second sign up because, wow.
You bet. You bet.
This is pretty cool. Great, some great information here on barrel program, on terroir, and I like what they do. I really love the small producer, right? I love the details, the passion of these guys, and what Rob does at Black Market, him and Michelle. It's absolutely wonderful. So, yeah, super surprised. I did not expect that much of that ball, but I'm really, really impressed. So our first,
Very impressive.
yeah, super impressive. I'm not even tempted to go back to my international wine. Every time I have a sip, here I have the Mitolo, and this is nothing close of what we got.
Probably not a fair comparison to the two like amazing wines we just tasted, but I do want to taste that because I don't know a lot about international wine. So I really want to see, you know, if my hunch is correct that Canadian wine is phenomenally world class, or if I'm going to find some international wines that just completely blow it out of the water. So let's see. I'll be over in a second to taste some.
Come over. I have the Australian wine for you. Okay, so I did not have the chance to taste the Lakeside yet. I did a few weeks ago. Oh, look at that color. This is a dark, really dark, inky proposition here. 2017 Lakeside Cellar Cabernet, grow on the east side of Osoyoos, American oak. Oh, 24 months into American oak. So we're going to be very interesting here to see the difference between American oak and French oak into the wine.
Hey.
Hey. Look at our teeth.
They're like purple.
They're blue. Right. Wow.
So where's this American wine? Cheers.
No, no American oak that I'm talking about with the Lakeside. So here, what you have, it's the Mitolo Jester. Actually, this is the best out of the three so far, and then we'll see what Tender Hope does. But yeah, my mouth is getting pretty beat up. Yeah, Mitolo's good. A little short.
So this is out of Australia. Yeah.
What? So see, portion of the fruits are appassimento as well.
Even out of Australia, which is fascinating. Because I have heard, Carl, some people say, oh, Canadians have to do appassimento because they can't get their wine to ripen. Yeah. And yet in Australia, they're doing appassimento too.
Exactly. It's about style.
Cheers, baby.
Cheers. Lakeside Cellar is such a great value. Their Portage Red is so yummy. Yes, absolutely. For the price, $22 for the Portage Red, Kelly. It is a steal of a deal. Today, we were just sending our email announcing our, sorry.
Bless you, Carl Boucher.
Sorry about that. See, am I developing an allergy here? You just came in and I'm starting to sneeze. What's going on here?
Well, that's interesting because I was just digging up in like big barrels, wine barrels, cut in half that have been planted with potatoes. So we were digging up our potatoes. Look at these bad boys. Woo!
Oh, wow.
They're beautiful little potatoes. But I bet you that the pollen that you're allergic to was right up in that straw that was covering the potatoes. So.
Yeah, probably. That's why. Good assessment. But so what do you think of the Mitolo?
Kelly says it's the kids. The Mitolo. Okay, so first time tasting an Australian Cab Sauv for me.
What's meat?
Mitolo.
What?
What?
Someone said it's the kids.
Yeah.
Dad was sneezing a little bit. They said maybe the kids brought in something that would make him sneeze. We think that the potatoes.
I am not something that gives people allergies.
I know you're not. I know. That's
Unless
not what we
they're
meant.
allergic to hair.
That is allergic to a lot of hair, but animal hair mainly, and you're a human, so
Dad's allergic. No.
yeah.
Humans are animals.
Humans are animals. Oh my gosh, you're right. Yes, but he's only allergic to like what I mean by animals is like dogs and cats and stuff. He's not allergic to you. Don't worry. We were just kidding.
Thanks for the conversation, guys. I really appreciate that, but I have some work to do. Let's keep it going here before the people left listening to us all check out. So Cabernet Sauvignon.
So here's what I think about Vitola. Okay.
Hey.
It's a different kind of flavor than what we're used to. Definitely different.
Okay, what do you get in there?
I get a way shorter finish.
Yeah.
I get kind of like bitterness, a little bit of help me out here, but I get a bit of a bitterness on the end, like a tart.
You know what? Mira, I'm pretty proud of you because that was my first assessment is on the length, was a way shorter. Because I think the flavors are good. I like how it's opening up. I like how easy it is. The grip don't bite your face right from the get-go. Open up nicely. But there's a lack on the finish. And our biggest advantage here, our biggest advantage of what we do here in Canada, because we have a shorter season, colder night, it's our level of acidity. And also it plays on the length of the wine. So what I really, really love is our wines, pretty much everything up there absolutely lasts way longer than what I experienced from at least the 3 already tasted internationally. Micholo so far, the best out of the 3, to my personal opinion, but doesn't have the finish anywhere near what we have. So let's recap the last 2 wines here. Top of the class, definitely, with Ice Cellar, Big Head, and from now I have 2 back-to-back, Courcelette, Small Lot, and Black Market. To be honest with you, and listen, hear me out here, and I don't want to hurt my good friend Rob Hammersley's feeling. I knew that Courcelette will give me something top, at the top, because that's what they do. Rob, I always expect the top with the Syrah. I've never tasted his cab, so I didn't really have any expectation. I'm absolutely blown away by the texture of his cab and by the spicy finish of it. I love it. Different approach than what we got from Charlie at Courcelette, though. Charlie's more in length. Charlie's more in, I would say, in complexity and a very long finish. Rob is in smoothness, texture, really, really soft texture, a little bit more of softer fruits and pepper at the end. So that's how I analyze it, but both for me are at 93 and maybe a little bit more. So absolute wow for these 2 back-to-back. What do you think of my assessment here, Mira?
It's totally true. I mean, there's a lot more suave kind of flavors coming out of Rob's wine, the Black Market wine. And it's all about, what mood are you in? What are you having for dinner? They're both just fantastic, right? So it's really interesting. Hey, a little bit of bummer. Xavier saying that Canada's World Cup match results tonight was not so great.
So the girls won. I think was it the girls? Anyway, I'm everything but a soccer fan. But
How do you know this? Because you've been live for like 4 hours. How do you know that the girls won something or what?
that was not tonight. That was earlier this week. So and then it was no, that was hockey. The female. I don't know. Anyway.
Anyway, you astound me how you can keep up on all the wines and the sports. Brilliant.
Okay, so these two. So I want to know: have you tried Charlie's wine? Have you tried Courcelette Small Lot as well?
I did, and I totally get what you're saying. I get the, you know, in the Courcelettes is more of a richer, stronger, longer, complex kind of thing. With the black market wine, it's more suave. It's more about finesse, right?
I like the way you said suave. Absolutely, that's exactly it. Like a little bit more rounder, softer.
Yeah. So it's just all about, you know, the style you're looking for in the particular moment, right?
But that's also like one of the edge that Rob has, and I kind of find the same thing as well with Bellaterra. It's in the softness of the fruit because of the 2016. If you compare 2016 vintage all the way to the 2019 with like what we have with Marinescence and Mount Bushbury, it's completely different, right? 3 more years in the bottle to soften up a little bit, but way more. So these are, like I was mentioning, like my challenge tonight for the younger vintage is to forecast the wine in a couple years. So what's very impressive with Big Head, that's why it's the readiness, how ready to drink they are, and also with Charlie on the 2018 reserve, these wines spend 24 to 30 months in barrel. So these wines are soft right from the get-go. Charlie's wine doesn't bite your face, but it lasts very long. But kudos to Rob at Black Market to providing us with such a beautiful, soft, and round Cabernet Sauvignon. Wow, I'm impressed. So I'm going now with the Lakeside Cellar from Osoyoos, BC. I didn't taste it earlier. I had it in my glass, but I dumped it when Rob came on, when Charlie came on. So now I'm going to taste it. And 2017 vintage, so 4 years in. These are great value. I think it's the less expensive, or one of the last, with Marinescence Heritage at $32, if I'm not mistaken, for a cab, 100% cab, 2017 vintage. This shows softness and like the approachability. The nose is really classic South Okanagan. There's dark fruit. There's already spice, cloves, and cinnamon on the nose. There's I find often dark chocolate on the South Okanagan nose, and graphite. There's a lot of graphite. Cab Sauv for me just not sting, but just burst graphite on the nose all the time. Not all the time, but very, very often. And I get it there, so I know that what I'm drinking by smelling it, so it's really obvious. These darn Lakeside wine do not stop impressing me for the value of their product. For that price, this wines absolutely shine. This is not a $50 to $60 from some of the other bottles behind me. This is a low $30. And if Mira listen right now, I would like her to look at the price point, but it's either $29 or $32. It absolutely kicks is the price that, like, it is just worth so much more. I give that wine a good 91 plus, maybe 92. That doesn't have the same complexity and the same length than the small lot, let's say Courcelette. It doesn't have the same finish, but then there's like probably like $20 less at the till. So the expectation has to be completely different. To me right now, this wine is shining. It's a 2017, ready to drink, great with the grill. So absolutely outshine every wine in his category because for Canadian, $30, it's an entry-level Cabernet Sauvignon. For 100% Cab Sauv, you barely can find any Cab Sauv under $30. So for that category, I don't see a lot better than that for 100% Cab. You feel like you're drinking Cab. It's Cab typicity. It's typical Cab flavors, aromas, feel. So, and I love the fact that even if they use American oak, it's not overpowering. I'm not always a big fan of big American oak flavors. Sometimes it's too much for me. Too vanilla. The spice comes out too fast in the progression. So I'm not like Christmas spice or a little too much. This is well done. The American oak doesn't take over. There's some purity of the fruits in there, and it's very well done. So 91 plus, close to a 92. I can't really remember how I scored that wine when we did the feature, but I'm sure I'm like right at like 91, 92. That's exactly where it belongs. Great wine, wonderful value. So I'm impressed here. I love the price point, and yeah, 91 here. Boom. I need to eat a little something because and like I mentioned last time, before I do my next marathon, I really need to eat more so like that I don't get super hungry by the end. Well, I didn't, so. Okay, let's move on. Desert Hills 2018 Cab Sauv, but with a little splash of Cab Franc and a splash of Syrah. 20 months in new and 15% new French oak, unfined and unfiltered. So that's an important point here. Unfined, unfiltered. See what? This is completely opaque. You cannot see through that wine. Like completely opaque. It's like ink. A nice purple though. A little cloudy, but yeah, unfined, unfiltered. So let's see. After that, we'll go with the one of the one I'm the most excited about tonight. It's the small lot Cabernet from Intersection. So I keep that one for the for dessert because I want to be able to compare the whole thing together. So I can't wait. So now Desert Hill 2019. Desert Hill is located in Osoyoos, BC. In Oliver, sorry. Not Osoyoos, but Oliver, just before Osoyoos. You have the famous Golden Mile on one side, and on the other side of Highway 97, you have the Black Sage Road. So on the Black Sage bench, where Burrowing Owl, Phantom Creek, on one side of the road, on the hillside, and on the other side, you have Black Hills Estate and Desert Hills. So these are the two main spots on the other side of the road. So Ken just get me some $28 after tax and deposit. This is impressive. So, wow. Thank you, Ken, for the precision. This is wonderful. At $28 for the Lakeside, I can't believe. I was saying $32, but it's even better. So I go for 91 plus to 92 points. And Mira, can you tell me the score that I gave the Cabernet Sauvignon on the Lakeside Flyers? Was it the one that I rated myself? Sometimes I remember all of these things, but I'm not sure about this one.
Sometimes I am just so amazed at how you remember stuff. I have no idea how you do it. But okay, so Lakeside, we're looking for the let's see, the Cab
The 2017 Cab Sauv, yeah.
Lakeshore Vineyard.
Yeah.
$24.26. Thank you, Ken. It was right that found that out for us. That's awesome. So we don't have your rating on our website. Let's see.
There you go. Now, because
this
that's
is a recent one you rated, hey?
right.
You rated this one recently, like really recently?
No, I don't think that I rated that one. That one was supposed to be rated at the for the Wednesday wine happy hour, but we decided last minute to put the Provenier 17 instead because it just won gold, and so I didn't rate it that one.
Yeah, so
And now you can put a 91 plus on it. It's very, very impressive for the price point. Like there's no Canadian Cabernet at $28 with that quality. So put a 92 there. Like literally, there's no $28 100% Cabernet with that quality for that price. There's none that I know. None that I know.
yeah, if you've heard of one, tell us. But yeah, I would agree that's
If anyone who's still listening right now and think that they know a better 100% cab at $28 tax in, I want to know, please. And yeah, I don't know everything. I didn't try all the 10,000 wines in Canada, so that might be something somewhere, but I need to know where, because that value at $28, and again, it just proved me that we don't make always overpriced wine, because the anti-Canadian wine, the people who likes to shit on the Canadian product, their main reason most of the time is they are way overpriced. Oh, well, guess what? For that quality of wine at $28, sorry, this is not overpriced.
well, it's updated, Carl. I just put that up on the website. So
Thank you. You're an absolute machine.
thank you. I think that
So
is-
now here in my glass, I have an unfined, unfiltered. You cannot see through that wine. It's 20 months in oak from Desert Hills, 90% Cab, 7% Cab Franc, and a nice 3% of Syrah in there. So it's not 100%, but at 90%, I thought that it was good enough to put it in the mix here.
And after this, Carl, how about we do a draw?
We can do a draw, because after that I will have Intersection Small Lot,
Oh, yes.
Priest Creek, and Effie.
Wow. So Effie being one international wine picked in Washington State,
Made in Canada.
which is part of the terroir we're learning. The talent, the winemaking skills are part of the terroir. So this is
Absolutely.
a cross terroir thing. And then the other two are unreleased and will be unreleased for at least a year or two. So
No. When we talk about the Cab Sauv, the Intersection, I got a call from the winemaker today. Say, make sure you mention it's not going to be on the market for at least another 2 years. Hey, can you unmute him? I'm interested to know what Gabby has to say.
What do you have to say, Gabby?
What do you have to say, Gab?
We just ordered a brand new race car for my collection. I paid them back.
Oh, that's
$25.
how much?
$25.
And who's paying for that?
Me.
Okay, so and is it a Bugatti or which car is it?
It's this really nice car. It's like
a red Ferrari, right?
Yeah.
But it's
Cool.
like
Yeah, it's Lego. I'm adding it to my collection of cars. We already have maybe 4 cars if you count the hitch for the back of the other car.
yeah, he's got a car with a hitch with another trailer thing. So if you don't count that, then 3 Lego cars so far. There's many more that have been dismantled. Lego cars. That's how they.
Hundreds of them. So here, Desert Hills 2018. So what I have to say, it's a good wine, but the problem here, it's cut short. I love the opening. I love how round, how textural it is, but unfortunately, it doesn't have the length and the spice and the finish than the other one. Because now we just went on a stretch with pretty impressive wine. This is still a very good cab. I would be interested, Mira, when you get back on, can you please provide me with Desert Hills Cabernet Sauvignon pricing? If it's $35 and less, I will have to say that it's worth the price. I'm giving it like a 80, a 90. More than that, I'm not sure about it. But again, 2018, I like to see that wine coming together a little bit more. But beautiful, beautiful texture and opening. Front palate, top notch. Fruits, top notch. After the mid, yeah, a little lack here. And at the end, disappointing. So, but still, I can't, but Mira's back. So, Mira,
I have to try this one. So you said if it's under 35, then it's great value. If it's over, you're going to wonder.
no, if it's at 35, that's the price point that I'm expecting. I don't expect more than that.
Okay, so you ready for this? It was $36.90.
$36.90. Okay. So it's a $89.90, like in the 89 plus, because I would love to have more on the back after the mid palate. It cut short, so there's not enough back there to go to the 92, 93 points. It's not in the same category that Courcelette and Black Market. I would say, it's a little bit more like the Mitolo Jester, but richer in the front palate, but not as much on the spice. I would like to give that a little bit longer in bottle to see how it comes together. It's a little disjointed right now, but appealing nose, dark fruits, but yeah, just a little.
2018, right? 2018?
There you go, 2018. You got it.
Young, very young, right? So that's the thing. That's $36.90, I think, including tax and deposits. So you were pretty bang on, Carl Boucher. I think we need to do a little show where you have some blind tastings, and we get you to guess the price, because I can't tell you how many times he has guessed the price bang on for wine without knowing anything about it. So it's pretty special skill there, Carl.
Yeah. No, so that's good, but not fantastic. Here. Okay, now. Woo. We're
Carl,
through.
how many wines now? 18?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 16 now.
16. And you know, Kelly's got a brilliant idea. Carl's The Price is Right.
Come on down.
See? Perfect. I love it, Kelly.
I would love to go with. Should I go with Priest Creek first, or you want me to go with Intersection?
Well, let's start with Priest Creek because this is a barrel sample. Okay, so this is very, very special, and definitely not something that you would be finding to buy anywhere for at least a couple more years, right?
Yeah, and anyway, like, and it's not even something that I can rate. Yeah.
No. This is just an interesting glimpse into the future of Canadian Cab Sauv. One sec.
In the Gewürztraminer bottle. See, that's an interesting thing, right? You're right in the Gewürztraminer bottle because we were if you weren't with us at the beginning, we were visiting Priest Creek this morning, and so after we taste all of their wine, that I was very, very impressed. By the way, like their reds are big and bold and rich, and he learned under Jason's Park. Jason Parks is owner, founder of the Hatch, Black Swift, Crown and Thief, and all of that. So Darren learned from Jason Parks, and Jason's still consulting. And starting this year, actually, he gave the recipe book to Darren, and Darren now is bought all of the equipment and produced at Priest Creek, but before he was producing at Jason Park facility. So it's a Jason Park disciple, and we know that Parks likes to produce big and bold wine. So I was really impressed with what he's done. Enough to put something together with them. I have to tell you, they've been on for 14 months now. So it's a brand new winery. So we really want to do something cool with them. But anyhow, after we tasted their lineup, we went to the production facility and like the barrel room and the crush and everything and look around. And I saw some barrel on top with CS on it. And me, in my book, CS means Cab Sauv. And I said, do you think I can have a little sample for tonight's show? And he was like, yeah, why not? So anyway, he climbed all the way to the top. And with that little pump, and like he's all the way on top of the ladder, and he tells his wife, can you go in the tasting room, bring me an empty bottle? So that was pretty cool. I wish that we had all of that on video because that was pretty cool. So I brought that up. Eh?
It was spectacular. Just so special. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's what I have here. So it's a barrel sample from the 2019 Cab Sauv from Priest Creek Family Estate Winery in East Kelowna. So let's see here.
And I am coming over to get myself some because I'm just excited to see the difference between a wine and barrel. I mean, I just had a wine that was aged 4 years. So let's see, what that looks like. And Cab Sauv can be aged, 10, 15 plus years sometimes, right? So this is a real baby. Love it.
So obviously, oh my God. So this is grippy. Holy shit. Not sure I'll be able to talk after that. So obviously this needs to stay in barrel for at least another 12 months. But The flavors are wonderful. I have a hard time to talk now. Fuck.
This is a good sign because I know that when you have that grippiness in the first couple of years, it means it can age really well.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. But also, see how
Geez, the nose is amazing. It's like violets.
yeah, and blueberry. I got so much blueberry in there.
Yes. Like fresh ripe blueberry. Wow.
So while you're here,
Yeah.
so if you
Oh,
give me,
another one,
what about you give me? Oh, you haven't tasted the desert hill.
No, I haven't. So
let's
let's
get
do a
to
little bit of
desert.
that. Desert Hills there, baby.
Desert hills. Look at our teeth.
Yeah,
Oh
they're pretty purple.
my god!
I hope that goes away. Please tell me it goes away.
If we wake up like that tomorrow, we need at least a 5-minute to like a scraping session when we're done. But dang, Jesus, Mary, damn, I'm hungry. Huh.
Well, have some cheese, honey.
I
Because
don't
those short
like
ribs.
that. I don't like that smoked Gouda. It just like
Oh,
absolutely
really?
like hit me the wrong way. I just can't
Really?
stand it.
Hmm.
So the non-Gabriel is Desert Hill. The Gabriel is the tank sample from Priest Street.
That is what I'm so
Yeah,
thrilled.
that is so cool.
So excited.
So
Awesome.
cool. I will let you taste that.
Cheers.
Cheers to all of you. There's still some people on, so that's pretty cool. I love it. I love it. So much fun. There's so much wine. There's so much going on in my mouth right now. But it's an absolute great experience. I have to thank all of these producers behind me that supply the sample, because without them, I will have to pay probably like if there's a 12, no more than 40 ton, or like there's at least $1,000 of sample behind me, and I had these generous producers who were willing to jump in the project to help me demystify the stigma that we cannot produce good Cabernet Sauvignon in Canada. And again, at that stage of the night, if you're not convinced, unless you don't trust me at all and you think that I'm just bullshitting across the board, but I've been pretty authentic since we've started a year and over a year ago. So if you believe just a bit what I'm saying, it should be clear by now. 3 hours and 12 minutes into our live, 16 wines later, that yes, we can produce world-class wine, world-class Cabernet Sauvignon in Canada, in Niagara, in BC, on both sides of the country. Absolutely possible. There is no fucking doubt about that. You don't believe me, but you are a naysayer. You are a hater, and you can go away. We don't need you now, because
Not nice.
now it's clear.
Calm down.
Yeah, no, just saying that if people don't believe it now, like they need to try. And if it's
We need to take the show on the road, Carl. Do what we just did for people to experience that for themselves. International versus Canada. Craziness how well Canadian wines show up.
yeah, because what we have tonight is it's absolutely spectacular. If I look at my chart here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's 4 wine at $93 points or plus. Okay, there's 10 out of 16 at 90 points. Obviously, we have selected winery that we know produce great cab. And wineries gave us the best wine. That I understand. But don't tell me that there's no good Canadian cab on the market. That is not true. So what Xavier is saying here, do you prefer Niagara or Canadian Cab Sauv as a whole? No, that's a very, hey, you know what? Xavier, it's a great question. and it's a great debate, but I don't think that there's a clear-cut answer here. Because if I look at my chart, my highest rated wine so far, and I have another one to go. So far, my highest rated wine is from Niagara. The highest rated wine tonight so far is Cellar on my chart. And after that, I go to 2 of the Okanagan with Cellar and Black Market at 93. And after that, another 93 plus is Big Head. So top 4, it's 2 and 2. And if I look, is there another 93? No, there's a 92. There's 292, and it's 1 Ontario and one BC. So top 6 is 3 and 3. So which one do I like the most? It's a split. It's an even split between both. I would say right now, yeah, like it's an even split for the top 6. So I don't.
It's pretty special, Carl, and it's not something you can plan. I know you and me, I'm not trying to put anyone down, but we are not organized enough to coordinate such a thing. So the fact that you organically, authentically rated these wines in such a way that they're pretty much on par.
If you guys knew until what time we were scrambling to get the setup done, you guys will stop taking us seriously. So I'm not going to tell you that I'm not going to tell you that 2 minutes before 5 o'clock we were still running around like maniacs.
We broke $100 glass. I mean, we broke $100 glass. We were reveling in the good luck that brings you, when you break.
Yeah, no. It cannot be staged. It cannot be. So there's one thing, and I didn't ask for sample, like specifically, like there was nothing planned. I just, like, we put that together in a week. So I have to say though, I knew for a fact that Big Head was extremely solid, that that I had something pretty good there. There was no doubt. I didn't know anything about Cellar, so surprise of the day on the sense. Yes, I knew because I tasted Cellar across the board. Never their reserve cab, but I knew that they will provide me with something pretty good. I didn't know what to expect of Black Market. I'm blown away. Bellaterra, to be honest, I knew that I was going with I tasted it before. I had an idea. I knew there was medium body. Nothing to say it's the top of my list, but definitely to say it's a solid wine, greatly rated. So far, I have 2 more to go. And yeah, to be honest, short answer, it's a kind of an even split, and I can't tell you which one I like the most. So yeah, and maybe
spectacular result. We didn't know what we're getting into here. We never know, and that's pretty cool.
So before I go to intersection, I'm gonna have one more bite.
That's right, Xavier. Like picking your favorite child. Tricky one. But luckily, just based on Carl's ratings throughout the night, there's quite an even split there. So, Carl, can I do a quick draw? We're going to do a draw for this bad boy from Priest Creek Winery. They sell these wonderful things in their gift shop. It says, I make wine disappear. What's your superpower? Right? It's pretty cute. And then there's this other wonderful part of this prize, which is a soap made out of Merlot from the Priest Creek property. It smells wonderful, and it has sparkles. So whether you're a guy or a girl, these will be fun things to have in your home. Let's see who wins this one. Da, 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 da. Oh, an Intersection is next, Carl Boucher. I can't wait for that one. Another unreleased Cab Sauv. So, future of Cab Sauv in Canada.
Just bottled less than a month ago.
Yikes.
It
Right.
took some convincing.
Adnan, I saw.
And guess what? I can bring his gift with me to give it to him next week.
That is hilarious because he's going to be in, Carl is going to be in Niagara visiting with Adnan next week. So there you go. That's perfect.
It goes in my luggage.
Yeah. Yeah. It's you can do that as a carry-on. No liquids. So fabulous.
That's it. It's like just like if we have planned it.
That's crazy. It's like that time that our neighbor just around the corner here won one of these prizes right after we moved in. So there is some special, if you win one of these prizes, it's completely random, but there's also some kind of special universe orchestration of the serendipity. There you go. I love it.
Oh my God. Did you read that somewhere or you just put that sentence together?
And Kelly has dinner on the grill. Wonderful. So I wish you an amazing evening, Kelly and Greg. That's awesome. Just across the lake and across the other lake here from Shannon Lake. They're out in Kelowna. So awesome. Thanks so much for stopping by, you guys. We got what, 2 more wines to taste, Carl?
2 more wines and a quick little recap. So I should be done in 15, 20 minutes.
Okay. And do we still have that other, we got one more prize, right?
No, we're done.
Are we really? I thought you had that one that you picked up.
Oh, for next week. For Tuesday.
Okay. For Tuesday, we've got a fun other prize. Awesome.
So.
Okay. I'm going to go check on our short rib, Carl Boucher.
But, yeah. So now what we have here, it took a lot of some convincing to get that wine going, to get that sample here, because this was bottled only a month ago. And obviously, this is still in bottle shock. This is not going anywhere anytime soon. It's going to be in the cellar at the winery at Intersection. So Intersection Winery, one of the small top producer, always top of my list, based on the Golden Mile in Oliver, BC. Wonderful, amazing producer, talented. Melissa Smith is a winemaker. She oversees the vineyard. She's viticulturalist. She's a viticulturist. She's a winemaker. She is awesome in all of their wine. They do Ripasso. They do a Passimento. They do some of the best Merlot in the country. So there's Silixia and what's the other one? There's 2. Anyway, long story short, great Merlot, great value Cap Franc as well. They have a one of the top Rieslings on the 2017 vintage. The Riesling was off the chart, so I love what they do. So this small lot, Cabernet Sauvignon, is kind of iconic. It's definitely, people talk about it. Not a whole lot of people has the chance to taste it. It's kind of a myth. I have it in my glass right now, the 2019, and it's going to be available wine club members only in a couple years. So right now, we're all going to have time to forget about that down the stretch. But I can't wait to see what's in there. Obviously, lots of oak on the nose coming out. It's just been bottled, so it's very important to understand. But down deep, there's that ripe fruit, that ripe plum, blackberry jam. Not so much graphite yet. some tobacco leaves, a little bit of cigar. Whipped cream, vanilla type of. So mm. Wow. This has depth and complexity and concentration. Okay, this has the potential to go for the long run. Not the longest of the finish, more compact, like this, like that. There's a big explosion from the start. Not extremely long, but again, it was just bottled. Obviously, tremendous potential. This is a 92 minimum, 92 plus. We'll see what's going on the road. I've been reading wines for a few years now, 25 years in the business, but as a writers, as a wine reviewer, I rarely have the chance to do barrel reviews or very, very young wine reviews. So I don't want to put a final number on that wine, but I know where the floor is. The floor is a 92. Where's the ceiling? Right now, I don't know. There's tremendous potential. I would see if that wine extend in length, that will be a 94 to 96. Like there's great potential as the wine goes in length because the concentration is really, really, really beautiful. So we'll see how it's evolved. I know that our people in BC are very excited about the 19 vintage. Very, very, very excited about the 19 vintage. So it's going to be really interesting. Right now, obviously, the oak stacked up a little. Obviously, it's just been bottled again. I have to mention it. So, but I do love the potential. The nose is really appealing. When you get over the whiff of oak, I got that purity of the south, of the Golden Mile terroir. Oh, wow. I love that. I just can't wait to see what's going to happen with that. Really, really interesting. Yeah, dark fruit, blackberry, and there's in the mid palate. Woof, there's herbs, a little bit of mint, freshness and acidity. If that acidity goes all the way to the end, it will be tremendous. So, and the graphite now, I get it on the back palate, and that chalky minerality. It's going to be so much fun to taste down the road. Great potential, fun and very special, very unique. I'm expecting that wine probably to go out at a $60 price point. So we're talking premium wine, but we're talking at 100 cases of that. So like very exclusive. If you're a fan of Intersection and you tasted it a few times and you don't want to miss out on that, the only way is to sign up on their wine club. And yeah, I can't wait for this wine to see sometimes in bottle, but tremendous potential. Again, floor potential 92 points, and it can only go up. Worst case scenario 92 points. Best case scenario, sky is the limit. And I put the sky at 96 potential. Now let's forget about that, because I don't know what's going to happen in the next 2 years, but there's tremendous potential. So here I'm looking at my list, and I'm pretty much all the way down here. So have you listened a bit of what I've said?
A little bit. Hey, a little bit. Derek's saying it's been over 3 hours and you're still online. I am so excited to hear, because I think you two are going to meet up next Saturday, Derek and Carl. That will be fun.
Derek, if you want to see, I look at my teeth. My teeth are literally purple. They're gross. Yeah, it's been 3 hours and 31 minutes, Derek. But my question to you, it's almost midnight in Ontario, so why are you not in bed? So anyway, not my business, I guess. So now I'm gonna go. So now I'm gonna go with the hybrid wine, the last wine of the night. The hybrid is Washington State fruit made in Kelowna. So it's a pretty interesting project. Our friend Effie Perrell works with some great producer, some great grower in Washington State. This is Finney Hill Vineyard 2018. That clocks in that's way in at 15.5%. This is a big, heavy cab. But one of the members' favorite, we did a couple of offers with that. One of the two had this wine. We had like Ross Kovac in Alberta. Just always reorder this wine all the time.
He stopped by. He was having that tonight in honor of Cab Sauv Day. So that's great. Hey, how many wines would you say were over 15% tonight? Probably like 10%.
Half of them?
Half. I wasn't watching the percentages, but that's really interesting. So
no, I mean, over 15, no. I would say probably 5. But there you go. 1, 2, 3. No, 14 and a half, 14.9. 14.5. 14. No, okay. Only.
So that's what I'm saying. It's not super. Like I thought, maybe 10%.
No, there's only 3. Sorry. There's only 3.
So like 15% of the wines were over 15% alcohol. There you go.
Yeah, there's the two Appassimento from Big Head.
Makes sense. They're more.
The Pouring Affair Appassimento is at 14.9. So Ice Cellar 14.5, 14.5. These are at 13. Yeah, there's a few at 14.9, high 14, but only 2 Canadians with the 2 Big Head and the Washington State Finney Hill.
See, that's interesting. So Remy McLaughlin is saying the small lot Cab Sauv 2016 from Intersection, still improving. Best Cab Sauv from Canada last year, only 4 bottles left. And then we've got Derek saying first Cab Sauv, a Ravine 2019 at only 12%. So there's quite a range in the alcohol levels for Cab Sauv, hey? 12 to like 15.7 or so, right?
Well, I got here my True Marinescence clock at 13 sharp.
Yeah.
And they are on their style on their own because there are way more on acidity than they are. Yeah, I
You're
knew it.
pointing out something interesting. 14.9 is really higher. So is there a different tax rate, Xavier,
Yeah,
for 15 plus? Is that
yeah,
right? In
absolutely.
Ontario.
Exactly. And
Wow.
so you get an extra tax when you get over 15. And that's funny enough that Xavier does say that because we have Foreign Affair at 14.9 and yeah, there's 2 or 3 at 14.9. So yeah.
I think the way it works, hey Carl, is you can legally have up to a 1% or maybe a 2% difference of what's on the bottle because of testing, differences depending on when. So it can always be 1 to 2% different than what you're seeing on the bottle. But if you declare it on the bottle as over 15%, it sounds like there might be an extra tax. So people are incentivized to say lower alcohol.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Yeah, so it's the lab clocked you in at 15.2. So you're safe to disclose it at 14.9 and never get in trouble because you have 1% up or down. So you have some room here, right?
Fascinating.
But I'm surprised because I thought my understanding is the extra tax was over 15% though. So I didn't know that was if you were at 16, if you were bumping the 15, getting at 16, that's where the tax was kicking in. So, but yeah.
It sounds like it's 15 plus. So if you're 14.9, which a few of them are, ironically, then you don't get that extra tax. Interesting. Fascinating. All right.
Yeah.
So you are tasting what right now?
I'm tasting Finney Hill.
Finney Hill. Okay, I'm coming over. It's the last wine of the night, right?
Now you're gonna have Intersection and Finney Hill. Your last flight.
There you go. But you've already talked about Intersection, which was really interesting. Hey.
I did. I put a floor. The floor score is at 92. The ceiling is at the sky. I said the ceiling might be at 96. I don't know what's going to happen in the next 2 years. There's a concentration. It's absolutely amazing. I would like the wine to extend, but we'll see what happens in the next 2 years in bottle, right?
Totally. Well, I'm coming over. I'll be right there.
Bring your ass out here. So yeah, it's been a pretty interesting night. So that's Finney Hill Vineyard from Washington State, made in Kelowna. It's big. Yes, it's big. It's powerful. It's high. It's hot. High in alcohol. But there's a style. There's has its own style. It definitely stand up with all of these great ones. This is a 90 points to me. Yeah, 90 points. Personally, I like to see more acidity in there, but like I said, there's absolutely a style for that, and there's lots of spice. There's a good length. There's a great concentration. So yeah,
I'm here. I need to.
Yes. Okay, so Intersection in
The Gabriel
the
glass.
Gabriel
I will
glass.
remember this. Okay, we do not need to label things for me.
Not anymore, or not yet.
Intersection Gabriel glass.
And Tenderholt,
Tenderholt.
Finney Hill, and
The
this
other
one. Okay.
Okay.
So I think this one clocks at 14.9 as well for the Cab Sauv. So you have 14.9 and 15.5. Okay. So yeah. So while Mira is tasting what's going on, I would love to revisit now the Casa Apostol Cab Sauv from Chile. because I saw lots of funk at the beginning. There still is. There is not as strong as the beginning, but geez.
This is, you're now doing the Finney Hill from Tenderhold.
I went back to Casa l'Apostole because it was
Oh, yes. Okay.
and
Sorry.
I gave it an 86 points earlier. I wanted to see if the funk will go away or.
Yes. And this is from which country again? This is Chile, right? Chile. Thanks to Mike LaPlante, the average wine enthusiast on YouTube. Fun show he has on YouTube. He was kind of teasing Carl to try a Chilean Cab Sauv. So here we are. We did it.
This is the grippiest of all. The grippiest of all, but there's a funk in there who absolutely create a big displeasure. It's like a gasoline style of thing. So no, it doesn't cut it for me. I think it's disgusting.
So this is the one you were worried it might be flawed because you've had stuff from this winery before. This is an international winery, Chile.
So this is no.
Something
And I will go now. I will do a little sip of the decoy. I would like to see where the decoy is. So California here, 2019, but 2019, extremely ready to drink. That's the biggest difference, right? Because there's not as much acidity in the California wine. So not a lot of acidity. No, that's a good point, Xavier. I should return it. Yeah, absolutely. I'll get something else. Because darn, I paid for this one. So, okay. So now the decoy. Yeah, the decoy is extremely easy drinking. 2019, like there's nothing wrong. It's a decent cab. Really approachable. The grip snap at the right place. But I just tasted 16 Canadian cabs, whereas there's a bright acidity on each and every one of them. Even the Appassimento, there's some sweetness, higher alcohol in the Appassimento, but they have a zing, they have a snap of acidity somewhere in the progression. So, and some are later on, some are in the mid palate, but some at right at the beginning. Like the Marion Essence shows acidity right at the beginning. So, here decoy, it's fun, it's easy, sweet fruit, not a sweet wine. I'm just saying sweet fruit, right? I meaning ripe fruit. But there's no zing of acidity. So to me, it's a little boring. I don't have that brightness, like the liveliness. That's what I was looking for. The wine is not as lively as the other that I had. So yeah, I had it at 89 earlier, and I think that's where it stays. It doesn't go any higher than that. It's good, but nothing wow. Let's revisit the Mitolo now. So Mitolo from Australia, from McLaren Vale, at 14.5%. And there's some part of it we've made Appassimento. So it's an interesting concept for McLaren Vale. McLaren Vale, just right next to Barossa Valley, or if I'm not mistaken, I think McLaren Vale is a sub-region of, no, right next to Barossa. South of Australia. extremely hot region, definitely not known as a cold climate. So making a passimento in your cab, I don't see the purpose. I don't see the reason why. But Mitolo, it's a very well-known producer. They make some top-notch wine with Gleitzer, with Felix. There's many outstanding producer in Australia, and especially in McLarenville and Barossa Valley. But sorry, so there's some Appassimento in there. There's a good grip. There's nice fruit. There's good length. There's some green pepper though, who comes out after the mid palate, who's not resonate extremely well with me. It's a good wine. I like it. A little bit raisiny. Yeah, 90 points will be would not be a stretch, because there's a good length. There's definitely great texture in there. Opens up soft and smooth until the mid until after the mid palate. The transition between the mid and the end is a little wonky, but well done. Yeah, 90 points. It stays there. Yeah. So that's the three. So I think now to in my conclusion to resume. So at the end of the day, what I'm taking, my take after tasting what 16, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 20 wines. After tasting 20 wines, including 16 from Canada, 1 Washington made in Canada, my conclusion is exactly what I wanted to prove at the beginning. I wanted to demystify the stigma that Canada cannot produce great, good, produce or grow good Cabernet Sauvignon. At the end of the day, I made it clear throughout the night, through my tasting, through my scores, through my comments. I think that stigma is absolutely bullshit. The reputation, the concept that we cannot grow good cab, it's absolute bullshit. I'll say it again. Okay? We can ripe cab phenolically. We can bring the grips, the bricks at the right level, and with good winemaking, with good barrel program, and with sourcing the right fruit and picking at the right time, yes, we can make it. I have here on my list, I would say 70%, 75%, 3 out of 4 of each of my cab that I got here from Canada are 90 points plus. Again, producer that I approached, I knew that they had the potential to produce great cab, and they gave me their top wine. So it's expected to get highly rated wines. But at the end of the day, I can show to anyone from Wine Spectator, Robert Parker, Decanter Magazine, if there was, or Jancis Robinson, all of these wine critics, James Suckling, if they want to sit down with me and I put them a flight of Big Head, of Ice Cellar, Bella Terra Vineyard, Mount Boucherie, Courcelette, Black Market, Intersection, I'll put that side by side. I don't know how they can come up to a conclusion that Canadian Cabernet Sauvignon are not good. There's no way in hell that they can come up with that conclusion. Either I'm absolutely a nutcase, either I don't know at all what I'm doing, or either I'm completely biased. But it's not the case. I am not biased. And there is nothing staged tonight. It was purely picking great producer and putting a lineup together. And here tonight, I proved myself, even if I'm the one who didn't need to be proven, that what we are doing in terms of Cabernet Sauvignon production, either on one side or the other, because as many good ratings I have on BC Cabs, I have as many as Ontario. Stylistically, they are different, but in terms of quality, we're absolutely out there. So now, before I go, I think that this number one wine of the night for our Cabernet Sauvignon Marathon, this is Ice Cellar 2017, 94 points from Niagara-on-the-Lake. Is it on the lake? Niagara-on-the-Lake. And man, my man, I have to tell you that what you've put in that bottle, it's pretty freaking special. I'm really impressed. You did a great job. I can't wait to meet you next week in person. I'll be right there, traveling across the country. I want to go see like all of your installation. I'm so thrilled to meet you. So, also, a big thank you. Big Head, Jacob Lipinski, great job, guys. Your two cabs are outstanding. Mary Nessens, you guys have your own style. Completely different than anyone else. Jeff Undermark, thank you so very much for jumping in and coming to tell us your perspective on both sides of the country. It was awesome to have you. Mount Boucherie 2019, not available yet. Not even released on the market. Great job on you and your team from the Similkameen. Special thank you to Charlie, owner winemaker at Courcelette. You have one of the top 3 wines here tonight with your small lot reserve Cab Sauv. My friend Rob Amersley, this is my surprise of the night. A 93 points Cab Sauv from your unsanctioned series. Well done. Absolutely outstanding. To all of the rest, thank you. It was awesome to take your wines. And you know what? I don't know when is the next one, but I'm already looking forward to it. So for now, I'm going to sip on Ice Cellar, top wine of the night. Cheers. Here, we should use Butte again, an amazing partner. It was absolutely outstanding tasting all of that. I want to cut like the last 4 minutes from the conclusion. I want to post that tomorrow. But all of our partners here tonight, thanks a million. Oh, by the way, Melissa Smith, I can't wait to see what's coming out of that small lot intersection.
Wow, wow, wow.
See what's going to happen with that.
And Priest Creek too, with their barrel sample, that was quite
Priest Creek, it was quite something. Lakeside Cellar, I have to call your bottle tonight the best value wine of the night. I have to give you something. This is best value wine of the night, 2017 Lakeside Single Vineyard Lakeshore from Osoyoos. Bang on.
Love it.
So yeah, that's where we're at. Thanks to all of you. Thanks to Mira.
Thank you, Carl Boucher.
Thanks to our people who stayed on all night. That is pretty darn cool. 3 hours and 55 minutes live. My tongue, it's hurting right now. It's painful. I'm telling you, tomorrow I'm not tasting anything. I'm giving my mouth a break. I do often some marathon like that, but for Cabernet, that is something pretty hard. So
my tongue's surviving pretty well because I took more breaks than you, and I had more.
My wife's still talking. My wife's still standing. I'm pretty impressed with that.
Well, you should come out here and see. We have short rib. We have a nice Caesar cocktail for you. We have gravy. We have potatoes fresh from the garden. So yes, let's pair some of these favorite Cab Sauvs.
Cheers to you, and cheers to my 3 boys who did a great job tonight, staying fairly disciplined and not too crazy. Hey!
Come in this way, so we can see you.
Okay. There you go, Cedric. Cheers to you. You've done a great job tonight.
Cheers. Pound. He's pounding.
Boom.
Boom. Oh, don't close it though yet. We're like.
Okay. So, Canadian winemakers, Carl's Wine Club members, all of you across the country, we want to say thank you. Have a good night. Stay tuned for the for my little quick clip conclusion I'm going to post tomorrow. Next week, we're featuring Red Rooster. Free shipping across the country. Some terrific reserve wine coming your way next week. So, and I'll be in Niagara starting next Wednesday. To all of you, have a good evening. Have a good weekend. I'll chat with you soon. Cheers.